You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
Children of Apple.
The Wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, gross atomic waste. From deep within the core, gross atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 410th edition of the Fallout feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks tonight. We've got Ray. What's up, Ray?
Hello, hello.
And Jess. What's going on, Jess?
Hey, Andrew. Creeps, everybody.
Tonight we're going to get into a little bit of character draws for our next roundtable. And I'd like to welcome everyone to the roundtable who hasn't been a participant before. I'd like to remind you that we are the show who compares and contrasts Fallout experiences through a lively roundtable discussion by playing through the same quests with characters who have been randomly assigned drastically different attributes. So welcome, and please, everyone, hop on in and have a good time. We'll explain all this stuff here in just a little bit, but we'll start our show off how we usually do by getting into a little bit of gameplay. We've got some quest mods that we're going to describe for our roundtable project. Got a little bit of audio feedback from Cannibal Craig we haven't heard from in a little bit. I put a little game together called Welcome Back, Otter, and it's got some roundtable draws that we'll get into for everyone's characters for this season. A little bit of news to get into also, and some scorecation shouts on the way out the door. So let's go ahead and roll right into it. Jess, did you get a chance to play any Fallout this week? And I hope that you will tell us a lot about your awesome Alice in Wonderland experience.
Yeah, so I got some Fallout in the last 2 weeks for sure. I also want to apologize to everybody in chat. It's funny. We tricked them because 2 weeks ago we started early, right around 10. And so they were all jumping in before 10:30 this week. And this week we're starting 15, 20 minutes late. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? We keep you on your toes, y'all.
Keep them guessing. Keep them guessing.
But yeah, so I definitely got some Fallout in the last couple weeks. You know, I talked about how I've been playing it more for stream and projects lately, you know, as far as 76 goes. But I spent so much time on Fallout 4. Last time we got together 2 weeks ago, I had almost had my mod lineup set, but was still tweaking. And I tell you, there was a lot more to it than planned, because you know how it is with the game of mods. You're never fully satisfied. And of course, I mentioned how I have Ray in the background talking about, well, you could just play it on PC and install this collection or that collection. We had Clint in Discord using a mod collection called Such Fallout that Ray also recommended. And yeah, it seems so cool, but I'm doing it on Xbox, going through, and I couldn't find the right weather look combination, you know, because since we're playing survival, I wanted to do at least 50% new mods I hadn't tried before. And I wanted it to be, because it's survival, to be a little bit darker, a little bit grittier, you know, like I had said last show. So when I tried all the combinations I could think of, none of them felt right. You know what I mean? Like Calamity Weathers, I was going to go for. But it just sucks too much color out of it. Yes, it's a dark environment. Yes, it's kind of, you know, gritty and barren, but it's also colorless. And I don't mind lifeless, but I need color. I don't know. It's just kind of a thing. So I tried a bunch of things. Well, I ended up, after trying these different weather mods, texture mods, and such things, I am going with a mod called Natural and Atmospheric Commonwealth 10, NACX. NAC has had a couple of versions over the years. NACX is the newest one, and it's available on Xbox now. And what that weather mod does, I mean, it's a full weather mod like most of the others, but the thing that's neat about it is it's probably the most customizable, okay? With like true storms or with vivid weathers, which I was going to finally try. It's the most popular. I never tried it. Or, you know, calamity weathers, polluted weathers. Even there's a 76 weathers mod that's kind of neat. All of these, the mod author kind of came up with how they want the game to look and feel, and then have various weathers mixed in with it, you know, and sounds and stuff that they've added, which is awesome. However, none of these mod authors were hitting my vision. I was not happy. So in NACX, you can go in and actually custom tailor so many settings. The PC version has more controls than the Xbox version, as you would expect. So it's not quite as custom tailored as I might like, but a lot of controls. So I managed to get a really dark, high contrast weather pattern and look to the game. but very colorful, where the saturation is super boosted. So I love it. That's what I like. You know what I mean? I want it to be vibrant but dark.
Well, if you look at the progression of the color scheme from Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas gets a little more color to it. Fallout 4 is just fucking bright as hell in comparison, and then Fallout 76 with all the fall foliage is even more so. So I'm thinking Fallout 5 is going to be like a Timothy Leary fever dream. You know what I mean?
We're getting more and more colorful. You're not wrong.
It's going to be Kodachrome up in this shit.
Even with the DLC, you know, if you look at it that way, I mean, Far Harbor, okay, it got foggy, but then Nuka World, bam, that got more colorful too, which they went on to 76. Steve in chat asked, is NAC the one that even tints your screen if you put on sunglasses? Yes. So it's got all kinds of modules in it that wearing sunglasses does affect your screen on the interiors.
Awesome.
It's very cool.
I love that.
It's also, it can mess up your calibrations if your character's wearing sunglasses and you don't realize it.
Yeah. And the other thing to watch out for that, the rad storms in that mod are no joke.
Amazing.
You will die if you stay outside.
Oh, and have. So thing is, I'm not actually playing yet, but when you're doing, obviously trying all your mods and getting your mod loadout, you want to set up in testing. So for this round of testing, what I've been doing is all the testing on my very first Fallout 4 Xbox character. About 40 hours into the game, you know, so pretty early. She hasn't even unlocked really much south of Diamond City at this point. But I've been, you know, going to interior, loading stuff and testing with her. And it's really neat because not only can you control the settings here, which is really great for the look you want, but yeah, with the weathers, they're all modular. So you can say what kind of climate you want to be. If you're in summer and you have a lot more dry, if it's spring and you have more moist climates, if it's winter and you actually want to focus on snow and snowfall and stuff, you can control how often those are. And then in each section, you know, clear, foggy, stormy, rad storms, you can say, remove this weather. This is too much. So in the rad storm section that Ray is talking about, there is in this one something called a red storm, which basically makes your whole screen just red. It melts you. And then there's a firestorm, which has spontaneous combustion around you, where just fire springs up and burns you. And it looks really cool. Also pretty dangerous. There's one called Fallout that I love. It's probably my favorite of what's in there. But what's neat about it is at nighttime, it launches nukes. So I posted a picture on Twitter of maybe I've gone too far because I loaded this in and I loaded into my game and it was nighttime. In Sanctuary. So I'm walking out of Sanctuary, and as I leave Sanctuary, the sky turns blood red, and then there's like a huge nuke. Like I'm right near the Scorched Beast Queen in front of me, and like I'm hearing raid sirens and fire on the right, and it was gorgeous. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? But it turns out that's just one possible weather. So that's what I'm definitely going to have as an option loaded. So it's neat. You can basically just make it really dark. Like you can make it feel a bit more Last of Us. You know, people are watching that right now. And so that is kind of the vibe I'm going for, by the way, in my final thing. I'm using a mix of Boston Natural surroundings, an extra grass mod on top of that. It's overgrown but not green, and then going to be gritty. And yeah, I'm really happy with my load order and excited to start.
Nice. Sounds like a good time.
So that was a lot of my Fallout play. Sorry to get all into mods right at the beginning. Besides that, well, I mean, what did we do? We recorded a Dames Who Game Saturday 2 weeks ago. Had a pretty busy weekend that weekend. Some Gato stuff. We had our production of Alice in Wonderland. Just happened last Sunday. Yeah, so that was with Wasteland Theater Company. I mentioned it was coming up. And that did take a lot of my time for the last 2 weeks too, because you know how it is when you're doing live theater. Usually the week before you start doing tech rehearsals. I'm sure some of our listeners and friends have done theater, and so you know there's a lot of rehearsal on the way. But that last week when you get together, you want to start doing full run-throughs, checking all your tech cues. You know, getting your lighting cues, getting your sound cues. In the case of 76, you know where you're positioning the camera, how you're moving. Stuff like that. So we had to get together a couple times over the week before. And then last weekend, basically all day Saturday, Sunday, we were kind of wrapping that up before the show, Sunday at 7 p.m. And of course, because I'm producing it, I also had to make videos for it. So it took a bit of time. Doing the intro credits, I actually built a little Wonderland set in 76
awesome.
for the intro. And then for the outro credits are the most cinematic thing I've ever done. That was like, it took a while. There's a lot of typing. When you have 15 performers and other things, there's a lot of typing to make those credits look good.
Yeah. And it did. It looked really, really good.
Did you watch it, Ray?
I did. That whole thing was just so much fun.
Oh.
And, it's the silly little things. Like, I absolutely loved that you used the roll-up doors for curtains.
Isn't that brilliant? Yeah, I'm so happy with that.
It was
So
perfect.
the camp builder, the official kind of set designer and builder for the theater is Thor Odin's daughter is her name, or Papa Gator on Twitter. And she's a great builder. And she had the idea of how to do this modular. And it just really, really works. And with Alice in Wonderland, the idea of the story, as we did it, is kind of like each scene, Alice is moving from square to square, which some versions kind of highlight, but other versions don't really hit on that at all. Like, I feel like Walt Disney kind of skips that whole concept to an extent. There's chess, but they're not the whole square to square thing.
Mm-hmm.
But doing that, it made it work really, really well using the doors. So we could have square one and then you pan to the next square. But yeah, so it ended up running about an hour and a half. It was a pretty successful production. And so then this week, I've been doing the final cut, the holotape version, as I call it, which I just posted on YouTube this morning. And so that's just, trimming a little bit, adding sound effects and Foley. There were things in the production where, for instance, some sounds would go through. So like, things hitting things, you needed to add Foley for that. And some wind, and we had a player. I lampshaded it in the version you saw on the holotape version, Ray. But we had a player blue screen in the middle of the performance, and she just disappeared. And we're all like, what do we do? Because we knew it could happen, and I had some backup prepared as always. I can switch the scenes and stuff. But yeah, so on the holotape version, I just made a little pop sound when she popped out, and then I kept some of the intermission instead of like the 2.5, 3 minutes that I actually took. Just little things like that. But it was so much fun. Wasteland Theater Company, I've talked about them before. It's while I've done the Sonnet festivals, getting to actually work on the whole thing like this was a delight. And so, yeah, we're probably on the show notes. If we can, Andrew, just drop the link to the video at the top of the show notes, maybe.
Will do. Would you like to tell everyone what the account it was dropped in on?
Sure. I mean, it's just in on my YouTube, so I know some of you already follow or can find it. Yeah. Yep. Jessica Starr. But it's the latest video there, and we'll drop the link in on the show notes. Just click it. It's about an hour and a half, but while it is a live play, so it's got that kind of play pacing. I really think it came out. The actors just outdid themselves. Some of the characters, just to sell it just a little bit more for you guys. So you know how you have the tea party scene with the dormouse and the March hare and all that? Well, instead of being at a tea party, they're in a chem den. And we got the Rad Hatter and the March hare, who is actually a sheep squatch, and he's tweaking so hard. It's kind of funny. And dormouse, and it's just really fun watching them interact. Or we have Bottle as Humpty Dumpty in one scene.
Oh, nice.
With those interactions. And then Bottle and Cappy is Tweedledee and Tweedledum for Wallace and the Carpenter. And there's a lot of little tricks and stuff. It's just really neat incorporating that. And of course, Mr. Fuzzy as the Cheshire Cat, because what else would you do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it took me a minute to figure out the caterpillar.
Yes. So Caterpillar is wearing a Pipe is Life shirt. Oh, also people are asking, you guys, just for people in Discord, just so you know, all you have to do is check the channel for StreamPod and VidShare or Iguana Bits, and it should be right in there. Click in, it auto posts my vids to Iguana Bits in our Discord.
Nice.
But yeah, so the Caterpillar Pipe is Life, and I mean, also he's kind of the gimp because people are always beating on him, so we just kind of made that a thing. It was quite funny, but yeah, the actors just were great. I feel like, oh, thank you, Lee, dropping the link in chat. I feel like this is like my new favorite version of Alice in Wonderland. The cast did so well. It's adapted from a version from 1915 of the play. So as opposed to being directly from the book, it's from an early play version. So completely pre-Disney, which let us play with it more. You know what I mean? And be a little bit more free with it.
Yeah, it was very well done.
So besides that, actually talking more Fallout 76, On the scoreboard, I am at rank 62, I think, 63 on Xbox. I didn't really have a whole lot of time for focusing on rank, and we've got time, so taking it easy there. And just a little bit of gameplay, but not a ton. It's just been a busy 2 weeks.
Nice. Well, congratulations on the production, and I'm looking forward to watching it myself. Sounds awesome. Ray, did you get a chance to do any Fallout stuff the last couple weeks?
Yeah, for sure. So, as I'm prone to do, so after I had spent some time enjoying that mod collection, such Fallout 4, I thought, well, what else is out there? Well, you know what? I should download the most popular, most endorsed collection available on the Nexus. And so I jumped in and downloaded that one, and it's 561 mods.
That sounds like a lot.
It was. And it was a big enough collection that it gave me a flag that I didn't have enough room on my hard drive.
Yikes.
And so I'm like, oh, well, crap. Well, so what am I going to do? So, what do? You go out and you buy a new hard drive.
So you could have your mods. Oh, my goodness.
Wait, you got a new hard drive so you can install this such Fallout collection?
He's dedicated.
Well, no, this one is called, oh, crap. What is it? Something Story.
Okay.
And this thing has just an absolute crap ton of every quest mod you can imagine, like 3 or 4 new vaults.
Wow.
The mod author has about probably 30 or 35 patches that they've built just to get everything to work together, the way that they want to. And once I went out and got a new hard drive, and the only thing that is on that hard drive is my Steam folder and my Vortex folder. So this 2 terabyte drive is dedicated specifically to games. So ever since I built this computer, I've been, I have to kind of, moderate my games so that, I have enough space, because it's only a terabyte hard drive, and it's got my operating system on it. I've got a big storage drive that I dump everything off onto, but still, a terabyte goes pretty quick these days. So I could only have 3 or 4 games loaded at a time. And when I was doing the mods, I'd usually only have 60 or 70 mods, which is no big deal. But when I loaded this monster in there, that's when I found out that I was not optimizing my opportunities. And so I dropped the new hard drive in, moved my Steam folder over, reloaded Vortex, and so now I can, I can do what is probably the worst thing in the world for me, and that's load more games.
Oh,
and load
boy.
more mods. So I've got the big mod package there. I went and loaded a big collection in for Skyrim, and I've been playing around with that. So then of course, I've got Fallout 4, New Vegas, and Skyrim loaded, No Man's Sky also. So now I've added in, I put Cyberpunk back in because, it's only a matter of time before their new DLC comes out. And then also Stalker Call of Pripyat. I loaded that one back in. And so I'll just keep adding games, and then every day it'll be, what am I going to play now? So
Tough life, Ray. Tough life.
I'm telling you. But yeah, so that's been fun. But this mod package is absolutely hilarious. I mean, it's like playing a whole new game. It's called A Story Wealth. And everywhere you go is completely different than you ever remember it being. There's people standing around where you never thought they were. You know, there's this little girl standing in Concord, off, just off of the main drag. And so I go over and talk to her. Oh, what's your story? And so she tells me about this, this building I should go into and find this guy that, scared her. And I go in there and
don't trust that little girl, Ray.
Get hit over the head.
Don't trust that little girl, Ray.
And all my stuff is stolen, and I'm thrown in a jail cell.
I told you, don't trust that little girl, Ray.
Yeah, it's too late. I went into Satellite Station Olivia, which I've done thousands of times, and got completely lost because the interior is completely redone. So
how do they do that? Do they just have a random generator type thing going on, or did someone actually sit down and map out a new interior for it?
Yep, that somebody built it. Every
Crazy.
Little cupboard and container and junk laying around. Some of this stuff is not interactable, but a lot of it is.
Wow.
But
Impressive.
it also gives the bandits a lot more places to hide. So,
Don't trust that little girl, Ray.
yeah. But so that's been really fun. Then just playing some of the old games. I love getting back into Stalker.
Yeah, we must have been feeling it because I just watched Chernobyl again the other day. It's like, I don't know what we were doing. So we're cosmically intertwined there. Very cool. All right, any other gameplay stuff? No Man's Sky going well? You got a big update a couple weeks ago and all that?
Yeah. Been having a good time with the new update. Playing around just a lot of tweaking the mods and having some fun.
Sweet. Saw you dropped a new episode the other day. Excited to give that a spin.
Yeah, we had a little hiccup the weekend that Jen recorded Dames.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so we didn't get an episode out, right after the new update, but we had a good time talking, the three of us, about the new update and the stuff that we've seen in it so far. So
cool. All right.
That was a good time. So
everyone check that out. The at BBCISSS, the Butcher Baker Candle Maker in space.
Yeah. I got so excited to start talking about it that I forgot to do the whole intro.
Jump right in. Water's warm. All right,
So,
cool.
Good times.
Deal. Well, I didn't have a ton of gameplay after I hit Scorecation. I went and I moved my camp around, just doing a little building. There's a little up in 76, I'm talking about, of course. There's a little town sort of off to the side, maybe a little bit south of Wavy Willards, where I guess a lot of the staff and such lived. There's a bunch of buildings and such there, but I found like a little pool location with a bunch of reclining lawn chairs out, and it had like a bathhouse that's divided down the middle, and I was like, this is a really neat little place here. So I was like, well, let me see if it'll let me plop the little camp unit down, and it let me plop it down there, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So like I have my dinosaur up on the roof, and just I tried to, besides that, that sticks out like a sore thumb, but besides that, I tried to like only build stuff on the outside that looked sort of like it fit to the scene.
So something of a lore-friendly build plus dinosaurs.
I'm trying to, plus dinosaurs,
I mean, that happens. I mean, hey, if it's in New Vegas, it's lore-friendly.
and I'm sure other people have done this already, but I was trying to line up my snow machine and the orange smoke bat machine so that it came out it was through the back of the head of the dinosaur so that it looked like he was breathing smoke and fire out of his
That's
mouth.
awesome.
So I was trying to line that up. I didn't, not great success, but
It's a hard
getting there.
merge to do. I think I mentioned how people merging flamethrowers kept destroying it every time they launched the flamethrower.
Yeah.
Like, that mouth is just not really good for merging.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. So I can't even do the regular drop merge, but I was just trying to point it in the right direction. So that was all of my gameplay the last 2 weeks, was just moving that camp, and that was just one evening. So I've basically set video games aside for the last couple weeks, and then about 2 weeks ago, our faithful side cat, Podcat, he decided to jump out of a window and went missing for 10 or 11 days straight.
Yeah.
And I was just beside myself with worry, and he came home, everyone, so don't worry about it. But that's why there was no show last week, is because I was out, and every night and morning I was out calling his name, Otter, Otterpuss, Otter,
Putting out food, checking with all the humane societies multiple times. Like,
we went and bought a trap. We went to the Humane Society every couple days, and had our Ring doorbell set up by the trap, and eventually we caught him. And I'm not saying correlation is causation, but I just had a particularly horrible, sweaty day at work one day, and then I came home and put my just absolutely drenched in sweat, gross T-shirt on top of the trap, and he happened to come home that night. So I'm not saying that he's attracted to my stank, but I think Otter's attracted to my stank.
I mean, it helps him locate, but you did all the tricks to try to put the smells for him to find his litter box outside and everything, right?
Yeah. But he's home, and he's come down and visit, and we're just really happy that
We're so happy.
back.
It was the biggest concern in the community. I mean, because a lot of people heard about it. You were sharing on Facebook and everything, just trying to do everything you could to bring him home. So.
Well, guys, instead of me getting to a bunch of gameplay this week, I thought that we'd play a little game.
What time is it? Game time!
And I'm calling this game Welcome Back, Otter.
Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
And for Welcome Back, Otter, all I want you guys to do is answer these questions that I have set forth here. And we'll start off with this one. Jess, you're up first. This North American aquatic member of the weasel family is known for its playful nature and cracking open shellfish on its belly while swimming on its back.
Wow, that sounds adorable. It must be an otter.
And there was much rejoicing.
You got it. All right, Ray, you're up next. This character, Eric Stratton, in the film Animal House, was nicknamed after this aquatic mammal.
Oh, that was such a funny movie. Otter.
And there was much rejoicing.
All right, Jess, you're up next. In Jim Henson's Christmas special, the lead character Emmett, who wanted to win a talent contest to get Ma a new piano, was this kind of animal.
That was Emmett Otter, star of
And
Emmett
was much
Otter's Drug
rejoicing.
Van Christmas.
Emmett Otter, absolutely. Okay, Ray, since you're from California, what are the mascots for Cal State Monterey Bay and South Seattle colleges?
That would be the Pacific Sea Otter.
And there was much rejoicing.
All right, and last not least, Jess. This character from The Wind in the Willows is based off Cockney street vendors. He is confident and strong and always the first to know any gossip circulating around the riverbank.
Mr. Hedgehog?
Oh, jeez. How dare.
How very dare. No, it's Otter.
And there was much rejoicing.
And that's our little game we call Welcome Back, Otter. We missed you so much, Mr. Cat. Welcome back. All right. Thanks for playing,
We can't
guys.
podcast without the podcat. I mean, that's kind of the thing. We've talked about it before, but you know, we see his little tail swishing while he's riding your
I'm
head or
always
whatever while we
swatting him
record.
away from the keyboard. He's always trying to
Right,
stop the
constant
show.
fear of him hitting the space bar and shutting off the recording.
Don't get that space bar. Yeah. Oh, but I was just sick with worry for 10 days and didn't sleep well, and I was seriously like be dead asleep and then like snap awake because in my dreams I'm so consumed with it that he's like, you know, he's walking by my head in my dream, so I'd wake up and snatch him thinking I grabbed Otter, like, because he's gone, and I grabbed him and he's there, and it's like I'd wake up holding my pillow and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it was crazy how much it was affecting me.
I do have to say, does anyone feel like our games have gotten a little bit easier lately?
Well, come on. It's just it's more of a bit than a game at this point.
No, exactly.
Lots of fun. All right. Thanks, guys, for playing.
So did you find any evidence linking Oscar to the crime?
Yeah, the screen was open. We found Otter with a little box cutter and, you know, a note that said push cat out window. So it very well could have been him. Actually, Otter's the one that Oscar likes because Otter is my cat and Oscar doesn't have to compete for attention with Tori's cat. You know what I mean? Like he's got Tori's cat comes around, he goes, get away, you know, but like he loves Otter. He's get all up friendly with Otter. All right, guys. So let's roll into a little bit of I don't know. What do you want to do? You want to roll characters or do the feedback or what?
I think we've got a lot of people in Discord listening live, waiting to hear about their characters and get to that. So I say either we do Craig's feedback and then start the roundtable characters, or just jump into roundtable characters.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into our roundtable characters, and we'll hit up Craig's feedback here in a little bit. Craig sent us some feedback about his about the Fallout tabletop game, so I was really excited to hear that. So we'll get to that here in a little bit, but let's go ahead and check in with some characters and get our character generator all fired up and ready to go. If anyone out there would like to participate in this season of the Roundtable, we are again playing Fallout 4. We're doing the DLCs, I believe. I think that was decided. We're doing DLCs and plus some quest mods, perhaps. We'll get into that here in just a second. But we will go ahead and start doing some character draws. If you'd like to draw yourself on the side, you can find our character generator by going to asapodcasting.com and click on the Fallout feed section there. And then near the top of the page, we've got a list of all of the different character generators that Pip-Boy Steve has been nice enough to help us develop. So we're using the Fallout 4 character generator tonight and for this season. So let's go ahead and roll into it. Jess, who do we have that needs a character tonight?
Okay, so we got a lot of people asking for us to roll characters on the show. And of course, remember, if you don't roll a character on the show, like Andrew's saying, you can do it yourself anytime. Jump in and start with us. So the first character we have for tonight is from Bruce. I believe that's Bruce from Discord and Facebook. So yeah, let's give Bruce a roll. Now, if people don't tell us how many rerolls they want, how are we going to be handling that, Ray?
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a handy little D4 dice.
D4.
And because I don't want to have to roll, 20 times.
16, Lou? Really?
Oh, I thought it was 1.6. I was just going to round that up to
1.6, yeah. That's
Lou
what
put
he meant.
16. I'm figuring he wants like 16 times the detail, like Todd. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll roll the D4, and Bruce gets one refresh.
One
First time's the charm.
Just like to remind people, when you do accept a character, you are entering into a contract with the show that you will try your best to submit a 5-minute feedback about your character every week. And just remind everyone that the show really gets into the nitty-gritty of the walkthrough of the step-by-step instructions of the quests. So what we're looking for in your feedback is just anything that makes it fun and exciting, all the different stuff, the weird stuff, the unexpected things that happen while you're running around, just to keep our feedbacks nice and varied. So we're looking forward to hearing from everyone. So just use your phone. That's good enough for us. You can use your voice memo app and send us a 5-minute audio file. MP3s are fine to the Fallout feed at gmail.com. What's up, Jess?
And up to 5-minute feedback. You know what I mean? If you just want to check in every once in a while, like we don't need to hear from you every episode. There's no pressure. It's all for fun, up to 5 minutes, but try to avoid the 15-minute feedback, at least for the first couple eps.
Right. Okay, Ray. Let's roll some characters. And usually we just sort of state a couple of highlights from the character and then move on to the next one. And Ray will be posting all of the feedback, all of the character roles from our character generator on like our respective places like Discord and the
Facebook group.
The Facebook group, Twitter, and whatnot.
So for this first character for Bruce, we should probably go over a lot of the categories just to reacquaint people with, what categories you do get on the roll.
Absolutely, yes.
Yep. So Bruce has got a male character. His specials are Strength of 3, Perception 5, Endurance 5, Charisma 1, Intelligence 2, Agility 3, and a Luck of 9.
Lucky boy.
Wow. So that feels like some pretty low special stats in a lot of those categories till you get to the big one.
Yeah.
And
So that'll be an interesting one. Luck characters are typically good in VATs, but with only a 3 agility, that's going to be a tough
What
roll.
was the
So
perception? What was the perception?
perception was 5.
Okay, that's reasonable. Now, also besides sex, we know it's male. We do have a Codsworth name. Like everybody gets a name. So what name were they given?
Stephen.
Oh, well, hello, Stephen.
hello, Steve.
So the Commonwealth faction is Brotherhood of Steel. Our Harbor faction is Children of Adam.
Very nice.
So
Excellent. So what those factions are the ones that you align with for the story. Since we're focusing on DLC, Commonwealth faction may not matter as much to you unless you want to go through the story and stick with that. But your Far Harbor faction and your Nuka World faction will definitely play into this one. So siding with the Children of Adam, and who would they side with in Nuka World?
the Commonwealth.
Whoa. Okay. So you're going to take down those raiders in the end in Nuka World. Awesome.
Yep.
Any
So that is
perk
Bruce.
highlights there? We've also got some assigned perks, and these are the perks that you should concentrate on maxing out with your character. And we've done a little bit of tweaking to make sure that you don't have a huge challenge in front of you to get to these perks. We've kept Steve put a limiter on it to make sure that you didn't have to level up 12 times or whatever to be able to access.
Yeah,
the perks.
let's so we call it the Fallout feed fairness factor as we've gone through. And in the past it was, there was a pretty reasonable fairness factor. And then last roundtable we did, because we've played a lot of Fallout 4. So 2 years ago when we did the Fallout 4 roundtable, for doing main quest again, we made it a bit tougher than it ever had been before. And, some of us had a fairness factor of like 24, 25. We needed to level up that many times to achieve your build, which is a little bit unfair.
Yeah.
That's more like the unfairness factor. So Steve went back in and since we're doing survival, he tweaked it again. So there's always a special stat at 9, but the rest of them are going to vary. You can get some low, some high, get a mix in there. And the fairness factor, your perk should be no more than 4 levels above your special stats. And in the special stat that got the 9, the perk will be between level 8 and 10.
Yep. So perks are Steady Aim, Awareness, Ghoulish, Lone Wanderer, Gun Nut, Mr. Sandman, and 4-Leaf Clover.
4-leaf clover, appropriate for the look.
Yep,
Good job.
works well.
So,
Okay, next up,
think
We have
Mr. Sandman.
Cosmo.
Sandman's going to be the trickier one, I think. Let's see, Mr. Sandman. No, not bad. Agility 4, and I think he's got 3. So
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so only need
not
one
too-
more level.
Not bad.
Go
Yep.
grab that bobblehead.
All right. So Cosmo gets 3 refreshes.
And I believe Cosmo participated in our last Fallout 4 roundtable. He might have played along with some of New Vegas as well, but I'm pretty sure he was in the last Fallout 4 one.
And 3. Okay. So I will apologize for the following.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That doesn't sound promising.
Now, of course, this is just completely tainted by my own personal, hatred for some of these stats.
What's wrong? He's got a companion? Ooh. No.
So Cosmo's character is female. The name is Zed.
Whoa, that's
nice.
cool.
Yeah, I like that.
So the Commonwealth faction is the Railroad. The Far Harbor faction is Children of Adam. And the Nuka World is the Pack.
Oh, cool.
Love the pack.
So
Best helmets.
specials, Strength of 5, Perception 4, Endurance 2, Charisma 9,
Hmm.
yeah. And Agility 3, Luck 2.
Well, a lot of people consider charisma one of the throwaway stats in 4 because there's really no. I mean, your checks are all like in previous games, like you had to have a strength check to pass things, but like most everything in Fallout 4 is just as your charisma high, then you pass a check. You know what I mean?
It is a little easier with the basic speech, yeah. So you get that. Charisma's good for that. Also, important perks like local leader, as we
Yes.
often complain about.
Yeah.
If you don't have enough charisma, you're not going to get it.
Yeah, even if I even have a low charisma, that's going to be one of my goals. It's because survival mode that we're playing, you got to get doctors everywhere, and you do that by you're going to have to remind me what the actual process is for getting what is the what is the traders post out on the east shore there with the big pillar monument in the middle?
Bunker Hill.
Bunker Hill. You have to do something there to get the trader post, right? But you set
Yeah,
that
in order
up
to
in
be
a
able to build
doctorable
them
visit.
specifically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kessler's quest.
Kessler's
Yep.
quest. You got to do all that, and then you have the chance of Doc Weathers visiting, and then he can heal you up. But one of the things about survival mode is just, fuck, I got to run all the way to somewhere to find this doctor to heal myself, and this is just terrible. So that's going to be one of my main mods search is going to be where are all the doctor mods,
That is definitely going to be fun.
Yeah.
Well, so there we go. So Cosmo has a girl named Zed siding with the Pack. And as we talked about, we'll
Very
talk about the
charismatic.
actual order of the season a little bit. We haven't got it hammered out yet, but we'll talk about it soon. But it's funny, all these people signing up in Discord and elsewhere, they're like, yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. Okay, sign me up. Like,
Let's
this
do
is
it.
a survival run, and I know it's going to be different for some people. Some people will be very strict about how many mods that they add that might make their survival easier. Some will be less strict. Andrew says no fast travel everywhere if you're going to be doing this, because not being able to fast travel is a big part of it, though.
Yeah, I think that is probably the main, besides saving in a bed, I think not fast traveling is one of the big main differences in between this and normal mode. And
Yeah.
Eric was saying, "Oh, I got the Doctor Who what's the phone booth
Yeah, the
vehicle called?
TARDIS.
The TARDIS. I got the TARDIS mod, and it lets you fast travel all over the place. So I'm like, oh, come on, no, that's cheating. You can't do that in survival mode. And then he was like, oh, but if you don't upgrade it and improve it, then it just fast travels you to random locations. Like, okay, well, you're allowed to do that because that's hilarious.
A randomizer is fun. Could be easier, could be worse. It's like the Doors mod that they've got for a couple recent games. They did that
those
recently
things
for
are nuts.
Morrowind and Oblivion. Go through any door, come out any other door. That's
Oh,
amazing.
No. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
But
So
speaking of,
there is one mod that that lets you ride along with your caravan. So if you've
nice.
got a supply line between two settlements,
That's the one I'm installing. Yep.
it lets you, ride along with them.
Oh, I might have to look that one up.
It seems fair because it's only settlement to settlement, which is still limiting. You still got to do most things on foot, and you still have to establish a settlement in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when you're out there in the Commonwealth and, when your settlement's under attack, which, as we all know, happens pretty often, this at least gives you a chance to maybe get back. If you can make it to your nearest settlement and then travel to the other settlements, you can help them defend.
Yeah. That's why if you don't put up any recruitment beacons, you never have to go defend them.
True.
But speaking of Eric, it looks like he is next on the list for rolling a character.
All right, Eric. what we
Okay,
getting?
so I've got one more comment on Cosmos and one of the reasons why I don't like charisma of that high is because it's usually associated with builds that include this perk,
Uh-oh.
intimidation.
What's that one do?
That's the one where you point your gun at somebody and there's a chance you can get them to hold up their hands and not shoot at you.
Oh, joy.
And I, that couldn't be any more counter to my play style of shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
Then,
So it's basically what's the robot one where you point at robots that won't attack, or you point it at animals and they won't attack, and you point it at So this one's for raiders, basically. Gunners.
Yeah. And but yeah. That's a tough one in normal mode. In survival, where they're probably going to one shot you if they get a clean shot at you. Yeah.
Well, so you better know where they are beforehand, and that's one of the things about survival mode is they remove all of your enemy indicators on your on your map as well. You can't look at your down at your little your map locator and be like, oh, there's a bad guy over here to the left. No, they take away all those red dots. You can't see where anyone is.
Now, the good thing is that, even if you have the intimidation perk, you don't have to use it. You can still just shoot them.
Good. Can you recruit them?
Bands.
Does it let you recruit them if you level it up or something?
You can get them to fight for you.
Yeah, because with the animal perk or the animal friend or whatever it's called, if you do it to a mongrel, they'll follow you around for a few minutes, and before they fuck off eventually. But that'd be fun to have a raider tag along for a few minutes. Well, good luck, Cosmos.
All right, let me make sure I've got this one locked in.
Solior.
Yes, I do. Okay. And another 3.
All right. What do we got for Mr. Solior? Hopefully something horrible. Should we back out of the character generator? Does it help its functionality if everyone on Earth is trying to do this at the same time?
I'm actually I made sure to exit out of it just in case, don't want to confuse or slow anything down.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Okay, so this is Solior. We have a female character named On, AHN.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay.
Another Brotherhood of Steel. Far Harbor faction is the Harbormen.
Okay.
Nuka World is the Disciples. So this is a little bit better. So if you become so your perk is big leagues, but you've got a strength of 3 and a perception of 9.
Oh no.
So you're a gun character with a melee perk. That'll be interesting. Yeah, you'll have to decide how much you're going to level and lean into it or not.
What's the perception perk?
So perception's 9, but endurance is 2, charisma is 2, intelligence is 5, which is okay. Agility 3 and luck of 4.
Endurance of 2 on survival mode is going to be rough, man. Well, I mean, they one-shot you anyway, but oof.
Yeah, so invest in intelligence so that you can get the chemist perk, so you can make your antibiotics.
That makes sense. And you can always level one of these specials up. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't have to get your perks. You got to focus on getting those perks. But, we're in survival. If you need to put points in endurance, you're going to do that.
Well, that's another concern as we're doing the DLCs here. But, what happens when you go to Far Harbor at level 2? You get your fucking ass kicked by fog
you're not
crawlers.
going to Far Harbor at level 2.
Okay. And then they have a recommendation of level 30 for fucking Nuka World. So, gee whiz, this is going to be, a handful at least.
That's why we're doing it so you don't start those till later. Yep.
I was hoping you'd taken that into account.
Definitely. Ray and I talked about it extensively after last show, kind of how we wanted to set it up and just do the interim.
All right. So, shall we go on?
Yes, sir. Next up is Tasmani. And Tasmani is going to be doing Leia 2.0. So I don't know. I think he still needs a role. So Taz did a character named Leia for last roundtable with us. He wants to do basically kind of the same Leia concept, but I think he still wants a character role. So let's roll him one, but the name will be Leia.
Sweet.
Okay.
And that's a good point, Jess. I'd like to remind everyone that these roles that you're getting, you can please play within the the criteria that we have given you. But if there's some sort of game breaking or experience breaking thing here that you're just oh, this is not going to be fun, remember the whole point of the Roundtable project is to have a good time. So if you need to make little tweaks here and there, that by all means, that is welcome. Just make sure you tell us about it and the feedback and the reason why.
Yeah. All right. So Tasmani's character is a male named Brooklyn.
Whoops.
And Commonwealth faction is the Minutemen. Far Harbor faction is Children of Adam. And Nuka World faction is the Pack.
How many factions are there in Far Harbor? Just the two? Harbormen? And,
3.
Children of Adam.
Yep.
Harbormen.
Because Dima and the Harbormen. Yep.
The Children of Adam. Okay, right. What is Demons called again?
Are they called Acadia?
Yeah, I don't know if there is. I don't know what's on our list.
Yeah, we'd have to double check that. Sorry, guys. Anyways, let's move on and roll the next one. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
We got Green Dragon coming up, maybe joining us to play for the first roundtable. So let's get him set up with a character.
Okay. But we also want to let Tasmani know that he's got a strength of 2 and intelligence of 9.
That is awesome. Taz put in chat. He's like, I'm actually just going to reuse my last roll, reroll from the last, so we didn't need to roll him a character. Sorry about that.
Okay. Well, that's all right. These are disposable.
It was a good time anyway. All
right.
Green Dragon.
Just so I don't get lost here, I'm going to delete this one.
There we go.
Okay. Now, another 4.
4 rerolls for Green Dragon.
All right. We have a female character named Graber.
Graber, how's that spelled?
Graber.
Graber. That's cool.
And so sides with the Institute, the Harbormen, and the Commonwealth.
Wow, that's going to be an interesting playthrough. Okay.
Yeah. We got another luck of 9 character here. Strength of 2, perception 4, endurance 3, charisma 2, intelligence 4, agility 4, and a luck of 9.
Yikes. Lots of lucky people out there. Let's hope they're lucky with those stats. Woof.
Yep.
I mean, luck is a great perk tree, though. I'm a big fan of it.
Oh,
Being
yeah.
able to lean into crits and Mysterious Stranger and good stuff like that.
Yeah. Anyone gotten Vans yet, Ray?
Yeah, somebody did.
Yep, one of the first 2 had Vans. That's awesome. So next up on the roll,
I
and
gotta
just so you
rename
know,
this.
anyone in chat asking, we will put all of these characters in chat after and can answer any questions about them at that time. So the next one coming up is going to be interesting. So we are rolling for Blaze. Blaze is in the Discord, and Blaze is going to be playing Fallout 4 VR.
No
this
way.
time.
That's awesome.
All right.
So survival and VR together, I don't know, but I think Blaze has played Fallout 4 VR before, so this won't be the first time. So yeah, that's going to be really fun to hear about.
Okay. This is a reroll of 3.
How does VR present itself on like a YouTube stream?
Oh, it kind of doesn't.
Okay, I was curious if it was possible to stream
People do
that.
stream and share sometimes with their VR. You can see yourself from outside looking goofy, like you can film that. But in the game, it's kind of a wraparound, so it's kind of like a weird, distorted
Get a
image when you
fisheye
share it.
view of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, like a fisheye view, or kind of like how a map becomes a circle, like if you do it realistically.
Right.
So not to judge a character by their name, but this character is a male, and their name is Slaughter,
Yeah.
Wow, awesome.
and they've got an intelligence of 1.
Yeah. Go Joe.
But fortunately, a luck of 9. So idiot savant out the gate.
Nine, right.
And the fighting perk is Iron Fist.
Oh,
With the
wow.
name Slaughter, come on. Just punching shit and moving on. Oh, that's so great.
Fisticuff Slaughter. I do like that combo, like you're saying, idiot savant with right out the gate with that intelligence of 1.
Yeah, Idiot Savant's great. You perk that intelligence, get the extra XP. Good stuff.
It's funny watching people who play a lot, like who stream a lot of Fallout 4 or, do videos on maximizing your character leveling and, the ways that you can actually level up your character quickly, like placing shelves. A lot of people know about, placing shelves and placing and deleting and settlement mode, stuff like that to just level up. And just watching someone do that for half an hour straight and then idiot savant procking every couple placements, like, oh my goodness, it is the most boring thing in the world.
Yeah.
Great way to level.
Don't do that.
I have to turn the speakers down because my wife hates that.
Yeah, I replaced the sound. There are plenty of replacements. You can either make it quiet, you can do the wow sound. Like there are a couple replacement mods for that because I find it very annoying too. Plus it startles me. I often yelp when it happens.
Yeah. But you're better off with no sound at all because also the sound of building 1,000 shelves is pretty annoying, even without the idiot savant.
Your
proc.
wife loves it, Ray. Come on.
Definitely not recommending the shelf method. Just saying it is really funny seeing someone doing stuff like that and having it just proc over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay. And for Blaze, did we get the factions?
So Brotherhood of Steel, which works out well because his followers dance and his romances dance.
Whoa, BOS likes dummies too. So there we go.
So Harbormen and the Operators.
Nice. I have a less
Next
of a
up-
feel of the factions in Nuka World.
We have Clint joining us again. What did you say about the factions in Nuka World?
I said
Andrew?
I just have a less of a feel of the personalities of all the factions in Nuka World.
So the operators are, kind of slick, wearing suits. They're the more like smooth operators, like a little bit more like gangsters. The disciples are the kind of sadistic freak ones who enjoy, a
Brutal,
lot
yeah.
cutting and blood and all that stuff.
Right.
And then the pack,
The
pack are the
animals.
furries.
Right,
Mhm.
right. The furries.
And then if you're deciding with the Commonwealth, there basically you're taking, you're gonna
So there's
help
three.
free all the slaves in the market and
there-
such.
there's 3 in Nuka World
Yep.
as well. Okay.
Yep, there are the 3, and then of course Commonwealth has the 4th option, which is don't side with any of them in the end.
Uh-huh.
All right, so Clint will be happy. He's got a female character.
I mean, whether or not he did, he would. But yes, go on.
Siding with the Minutemen, the Harbormen, and the Disciples. We've got another strength of 2 with the Iron Fist.
And a luck of 9.
No, charisma 9.
Oh, sorry, Clint. But the beautiful thing about Fallout 4 is you can just keep adding. Once you get to you hit your marks, you can just keep on adding to whatever categories you want. Just round out your character later, right, as you level up.
Yeah, and obviously for the first, for Bruce's, we went over everything, but as we go on, we're not going over all the perks and stuff, just mentioning highlights, character name, gender, a few of the specials, stuff like that. Because if you guys do, after we post them, if you do your character introduction feedback, you can tell us about the stats and what they mean to you in character introduction feedback for next week.
Yeah, and I like it when people take you don't have to use the Codsworth generated name, but I like it when people take that, the name and sort of incorporate it into the backstory. We like to know where your character came from, who they are, why they're in the Wasteland, and sort of what their motivations are. And it's fun to sort of get your name and then sort of, in your mind, write your own story, build a character, who they are, where they came from, that sort of stuff.
Getting a name can determine so much about your character. You know what I mean? It really sparks the imagination. I find that in some ways that's one of my favorite things about the generator is that, I wouldn't have ever had Atticus, or Shinji or Memphis if it wasn't for that's who I rolled. And each of those names evoke a certain okay, this is who that character is to me. So I think it's a really important part personally.
Absolutely.
And Lee is going to need the fruit hat.
Oh no.
Nice.
Lee has a female character named Mamba.
Yeah.
Mamba
great.
number 9.
A little bit of Jessica, here I am.
Is it number 9? Is it Mamba number 5 or 9?
5, I believe.
Sorry. I was thinking of the special. What can I say? Everybody in chat's 5.
It's
okay, I get
lucky
it.
number 9.
Yeah. Well, so Lee's lucky number 9 is in perception.
I like how you phrase that.
With heavy gunner.
Wait, Heavy Gunner is his perk to go with?
Should be rifleman. Come on.
What's the strength at then?
2.
2. We're going about this all wrong. Okay. Gender, name, all that. I'm trying to picture this character now.
Yeah, so strength of 5 to get to heavy gunner.
Heavy gunner's 9. What is heavy gunner?
5.
Oh, yeah, you just said it was 5.
In
5
strength,
is the
yeah.
requirement. And what was his assignment?
2.
2. Oh, well, only 3 steps then. And perception of 9. What is that? What is what are the high up perception perks? What can be useful there?
So the ones that are high up, penetrator, which lets you shoot through cover.
Ignore.
Mhm.
Oh, like through doors and walls and stuff, right?
That's a good
Yeah.
one, especially with heavy weapons.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cool.
And the
All
character, is it Mamba or Mambo?
It's Mamba.
Okay, Mamba.
So, he could make it, a member of the Tunnel Snakes too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Like the assassins from Kill Bill, all the snake, the snake.
Well, and his Nuka World faction is the Operators.
Sweet, dude. All right, Lee, build it out. Tell us how it goes.
Depending
And
on the
far-
accent, could be Mamba even. Mamba Jamba.
Yeah. And we do have the Fire Harbor faction of Acadia.
There we go. Okay, it is on there. Okay, so that is Lee. Wow, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters in. Next up is Swear I'm Normal. Joining for, I think, the first roundtable play along.
Swirl 'em.
Yeah.
Well, and it's normal to get a roll of 4. So
Andrew thought the I was an L, Swear I'm Normal. So he's like, Swirl Normal?
Swirl 'em. Hi, Otter. Otter came to say hi, everybody. He's back on the show. Hi, Podcat.
Hi, Otter.
Oh, man.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Okay. So we have a male character named Nuke.
That's appropriate.
Nuke with a K or Newt with a T? Like, I have Newt.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
They mostly
Have a
come at
nuke.
night. Mostly.
Yeah. And my favorite follower in the game.
None.
Captain Longnuts? No, none.
Captain Longnuts. Yes.
I mean, he's perfect for a Far Harbor playthrough.
Yeah. It's got to be none, though, right?
Minutemen, Harbormen, and Disciples. I think this may be our first agility of 9.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I think so.
Pistolero.
By the way, big apologies to everybody getting Disciples as your Nuka World faction. I feel like they are the one that people don't like. You know what I mean? Like how everyone has factions they don't like. Like we had our Legion playthrough during the New Vegas roundtable. It can be a little bit hard to play Legion. Disciples are more fleshed out. Ew, like literally. But
piles of flesh laying around.
and you don't need to do that much with them. But actually siding with them, if you invade the Commonwealth and have to deal with them, like I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Disciples.
I think they have the best knives.
Oh, definitely cut above. I'm so sorry.
Have you guys done the thing where you side with the raiders and then attack the mainland settlements and all that? I've never actually done that.
I never have. That's the only achievements I haven't gotten. The Nuka-Cade tickets and then going in and attacking the Commonwealth. I mean, it's just because I don't want Preston to be mad at me. You know, it's all about Preston.
Collect 10 million Nuka-Cade tickets.
No, but it does seem like such an odd option. The idea that, you know, especially with the way that Nuka World came out as the last DLC, you spend all game, 100, 200 hours going through, building up these settlements, helping settlers, things and that, only to turn around and crush them.
Fuck them. Yeah.
And there's a mod for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mod for everything. Except for goddamn doctors.
So that any settlements that you already, are the boss, you don't have to go wipe everybody out. They're just under your thumb.
That's good. I mean, I use mods to give my settlers names. You know what I mean? I don't want to go in there and kill poor old Parker Posey and no. But I mean, some people do enjoy that, and it's going to be part of the experience this time. Is that if we're siding with a Raider faction, do intend to go through and invade the Commonwealth with them. That'll be part of the whole fully playing the Nuka World DLC.
All right. So future roundtable idea. All of the achievements.
Pain, but that also means we have to play without mods. Yeah,
it's been ever since mods have been introduced. That's why. Well, because there's a couple of super annoying ones, but that's why I don't have all the achievements. Is because when they introduce mods, boom, I'm not ever playing vanilla ever again. You know what I mean?
Well. So I would have to load the mod that lets you get achievements with mods.
There you go. So did we cover all of Swear I'm Normal's character?
It's Swirl.
Agility 9. So, so this one's kind of a blank canvas. There are no combats perks.
Oh, neat. Okay.
So blacksmith, which would kind of lend itself to
armor,
melee.
Melee. I guess armor would be the armor one.
Yeah. So what else do we have? So we have refractor, life giver, party boy, gun nut. So you do have support for a gun character. Quick hands. Which lets you reload faster. So maybe with agility 9, pistols would definitely be a good choice.
Mm-hmm. What's refractor? Is that like energy damage bounces back on the attacker or something? Only in power armor though, or something, right? Or no?
No, you get a bonus to energy resistance.
Energy resistance. Oh, I thought it bounced damage back at them. Okay.
Just reduces.
So this one is kind of tricky. So their luck perk is Idiot Savant.
Okay,
but they've only got a luck of 4, which means they've got to invest in luck before they can get Idiot Savant. Intelligence of 3 is not bad.
It can still proc. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just less.
Yeah, it's with Idiot Savant, it's better to have an intelligence of 1 or 2 or 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
Anything in between really is kind of wishy-washy.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's 2 perks. So
There are mods out there that reverse Idiot Savant, which always seemed odd to me, where they're like, you get it procs more the higher your intelligence. I'm like, that's just cheating.
Yeah.
Because you're getting it popping more and it's worth more. Like, that's not the way it was designed at all.
yeah, no, not at all.
Okay, so that's where I'm normal, aka my name's Swirl. And next up, we have Sullivan, Mr. Vacation.
Oh,
By the way, speaking of welcome back, Sullivan. I hope you enjoyed your time in paradise.
Welcome back,
All right.
Mr. Sullivan.
Sullivan gets a 1 reroll.
Oh, perfect. Let's see what he gets.
One's the charm. Here we go.
Literally rub my hands together about this one.
Yeah, I heard that.
So this is a female named Stuart.
Very nice.
Cool.
So BOS, Children of Adam, and Disciples.
My goodness, Disciples really leaving a mark.
Now we've got another Agility 9.
Yeah, we're evening it out a
and
little bit.
this character has Gun Fu.
Oh, neat. Okay, so Gun Fu and Stewart. Okay, yeah, that could be good.
Yep.
Gun Fu's
And
great.
one of the assigned perk is Locksmith.
Okay, this sounds like a good role. I'm actually excited to see the whole character sheet when you post that one.
Yeah,
But yeah, Archon said like a boy named Sue. Exactly, a boy named Stu. Or
a girl named Stu.
girl named Stu, right.
All right.
So that covers our Discord requests so far.
Thank you,
with Sullivan in there.
Discord.
Jump over. We had a few requests on Facebook too.
All right. Let me get caught up here.
Absolutely. We got to save some of those images.
Of course.
So yeah, it's funny when we start doing this, like when we get deeper in, I start to feel like we're kind of like doing the draft, like we're commentators about like a sports draft or something. Like I don't watch this stuff, but I've heard it.
Okay. Here we go. Catherine.
Okay, Catherine, you're up
Got it.
next.
Got a 2.
Oh, 2 rolls. I was like, 2 and what, Ray? 2 straight? What? Forgot we need to roll.
Oh, okay. We've got another Luck of 9 character.
These dice are obviously weighted towards luck. Good Lord.
A male character named Everdeen.
Ooh,
Everdeen?
I like that.
That's a pretty cool name.
Everdeen.
No.
So that
So-
means somewhere in pop culture there's an Everdeen character, because isn't Codsworth's name list pulled from just basically just like possible names and lots of pop culture names and that sort of stuff? How did
Yeah,
they generate his list?
Is it a Hunger Games reference? Katniss Everdeen? I mean,
Oh, there you go.
that's the first thing I think of.
Was that
for
movie?
Everdeen.
That movie wasn't out yet, was it? Oh, God.
The first one certainly was. I mean,
Was it?
2015 for
Okay.
Fallout 4.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure it came out well before then. First Hunger Games was probably
Did it?
like 2009, 2010.
Really? God, I'm so old. I
Yes, we all just crumbled to dust. Everybody listening, sorry about that. And then there was nothing.
Yeah. All right. So this is going to be a pistolero. So gunslinger is the agility perk.
Beautiful.
Well, let's see. Factions, Minutemen, Children of Adam, and Commonwealth.
Excellent.
Mm-mm.
That's going to be a fun character. Now, I think Catherine's played along before. Not sure she sent in feedback, though. So it'd be great to hear about the character.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear everyone's backstories and sort of talk about their specials and perks.
Yeah, the
and
idea
such.
for next week, we're going to still lay out like the season needs typed up and kind of hammered out. But the idea is, we'll start the characters and stuff. We used to do for all the early roundtables. Basically, we did 1 week where we would introduce our characters here on the show, and then the next week after, you guys would kind of have a chance to sit with them for a bit and then send that in. The last couple roundtables, we actually compressed that, where we're like, you guys send it in, we'll talk about ours, you talk about yours, all on the same show, and then we'll start the every other after, which does make sense.
Yeah.
Because you get a new character, you want to start playing. You don't want to wait 2
Absolutely.
weeks to be able to talk about the character and then start playing. So yeah, next week we'll be talking about your characters that you've made if you do any audio feedback.
And we have the general outline, it looks like, of all the quests we'll be doing, but that doesn't, go ahead and create your characters and get out there and start leveling up a little bit and all that. So
That's generally the plan for the first couple weeks, to be honest. Yep.
yeah.
Okay, next up is Will with 3 roles, right? Funny. Now that I'm on PlayStation, I can hang out with Will in his natural habitat. We've played plenty of times on Xbox, but it was great to actually hang out and see him on PlayStation with his original character, that he rolled for the Roundtable. And I'm like, oh, this is just so nice.
I've heard you guys bring up for Skyrim that there's sort of a decent functioning multiplayer mod now. Has anyone developed that for Fallout 4 yet?
I haven't seen it.
No.
And maybe it's not decent functioning.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that people are working on it for sure. Like, I hear every once in a while stuff about the multiplayer mod being ready or in the works, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know that it's actually successful yet.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
Doing a quick search on it, I can see in the last year, some people are saying, testing out the multiplayer mod, and it looks like it's mostly for laughs. So that doesn't bode well.
All right, so it'll be interesting to see what he does with this.
Well, Will's good at that sort of stuff. So
it's not very likely that it's going to be what you expect.
Oh.
It never is with Will.
So it's a male character, and the name is Bond.
Bond? Nice.
So siding with the Minutemen, Children of Adam, and Disciples. So this is a Luck of 9 character. Oh, sorry. No, it's not.
No, okay, good.
Intelligence of 9.
There we go. Finally, something different. I mean, it's been a couple agility now, tons of luck, a little bit of charisma. Glad we got an intelligence of 9 in there. Also, Children of Adam seems to be the most prevalent Far Harbor faction this time, which I think that's neat because obviously, the Children of Adam in base Fallout 4, not a whole lot happens with them. You know what I mean? Either they're kind of friendly around the crater or the around the radiation village, they're very unfriendly.
They
and that was pretty much
it.
it.
With a gamma
But
gun,
in
right?
Far Harbor, there's a lot to it. I really enjoy going in. Is it the Nucleus, the name of the submarine?
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost said Nautilus, but the Nucleus. And there's a good quest line there. It's really neat. Some good weapons. And yeah, it's fun to do it that way.
Nautilus, is that 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Yes, I think so.
And so super handy perk in his endurance tree, Aqua Boy.
Oh, that's
Aqua
the
Boy.
best in survival mode. I'm going to take that one anyway, even if it's not assigned to me,
Yeah. Yeah, the challenge is that it's an endurance 5 perk.
And
Fortunately for Will, he's got an endurance of 5, so he'll be able to get it right away.
Oh, perfect. Right. And it's
that is such a handy one to have in survival.
For navigating, just using the waterways instead of roads is just really useful. And if you get level 2, they can't see you if you go underwater, so no one's shooting at you anyway. It's perfect for navigating, especially around the Far Harbor. It's going to be awesome. That's great.
Okay. And make sure I read this one. I do. And so we've got 14, 15, 16 rolls for Lou.
Oh, good Lord. You did it? Don't placate him. Come on.
Yeah, no, by 16 equals 1. That's how we're doing it.
1.6. Right.
Yes. Rounded down.
To 1. Oh, Lou, how dare you?
Okay, so Lou has a male character named Sage.
Great name.
And, Lou might have wanted to stick with 12 or 13 because he's got a luck of 9.
Woof.
You
But,
can never go wrong with the luck tree. I really think luck is such a great special stat.
Yeah, it's just, so the challenge is that his agility is 4,
Mhm.
And so a high luck is great if you've got high agility.
Yeah. For
You
the
know, because it gives you plenty of
VATS.
action points, lets you do a lot in VATS.
Yeah.
So you can actually get enough shots off to fill your crit meter, you know, to be able to bank them and stuff.
Mhm.
So not the perfect.
Yeah,
high
you can't
luck.
be a luck build. Like a luck build isn't quite the same. In 76, you can be a luck focused build because of how important crits are to whatever style you use. For Fallout 4, no, it makes sense. It's all supplemental. Mysterious Stranger,
Yeah.
Critical Banker, Four Leaf Clover, Ricochet, like all things that work with other things, but it's not going to determine your play style.
So it sucks
because
to
you only can build it up in VATS.
So it sucks to have your agility low if you're going to do VATS because you can't get as many shots off. But with the high luck, you take the perk that makes it so that it fills your VATS with every successful hit or whatever, with a kill, right? Is it whatever that one's called?
Yeah, that's Four Leaf Clover.
Four-leaf
That every
clover.
time, Four Leaf
So-
Clover has an excellent chance of filling the meter.
Okay.
The one
yeah.
when you actually get a kill, I don't remember. Is that
Yeah,
Grim Reaper
and-
Sprint?
Grim Reaper Sprint is one of his, and that's if you get a kill, it can refresh all of your action points.
Okay. Well, you know, make it work, Lou.
Make it work while you are sided with the Institute and Acadia.
Oh,
Huh.
wow. The duality of man.
Wow. How you going to, remedy that situation? That's
You
cool.
know, that said, because we're focused on just regular gameplay than the DLC, you don't even have to go that far with the main quest line. You know what I mean? Most people
Yeah.
will probably get at least to Kellogg and Fort Hagen and all that, I would think, so they can unlock all the factions and kind of move to the next phase of the Commonwealth, at least, phase 2 for that part. But beyond that, you don't need to. Well, there's no requirement for this. You need to do the main factions if you don't want to. Because Andrew's tired of it. So we said, you're right, Andrew.
And tell me his romances dance, please.
Curie.
Just as good.
Excellent choice for sure. Also, Andrew, I don't know if you know, but your camera is frozen. If you want to turn it off and on again.
Oh, is it? Here, let me try.
All right. And last but not least, Pit Boy Steve.
Definitely not least. Okay.
2.
2 rolls for Steve. Who, by the way, thanks again, Steve, for giving the randomizer a good squiz earlier. Appreciate it.
Oh. And he is our first winner.
Chicken dinner. What did he get?
Endurance of 9.
Endurance 9. There you go. He weighted it, didn't he? He's the person who programs the damn, character generator, so he's just like, okay, I don't know how it's going to do it, but attaboy, Steve.
So a female character named Zenith.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yep. So Minutemen, Harbormen, and our first pack.
Second pack, I think. We did have an early
Did we have
pack.
another pack?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember that one.
So Zenith. Okay, that sounds awesome.
That wasn't like an
Harborman
old,
and Pack. My evil plan has come to fruition, says Steve. Mwah.
that was like a television company or something, wasn't it? You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, they did TVs back in the day and radios.
Yeah. Right on, Steve. And thanks for your help with the character generator all these years.
Yep. So that just leaves us.
Hey, all
are
right.
we going to roll characters live on the show?
Oh, well, why not?
I know
Are
we
we?
always do. We just didn't write our names down this time. Yeah, we usually do us first. Okay, let's get in there and do it. But do we have to let Ray roll it? Because I'm not sure I trust him.
Oh,
I kid. Okay, Ray. Let's lay it on me. I need to know.
Okay. Do you want to pick or do you want a dice roll?
I would like a dice roll, please. I'm excited. Let's leave it to the cards.
Ooh, you got a 4.
Okay. Okay. If on like the second or third reroll there's something awesome, you feel free and let me know that I missed out.
oh, you should have taken 2. You should have taken 2.
2 would have been great.
2 was a charisma of 9.
I'm glad you didn't take 2. Don't take 2.
I don't mind charisma.
3 is an agility of 9.
Ooh, I do want that one.
And 4 is an intelligence of 9.
Oh, that's different.
Good level up.
I've never played a high intelligence Fallout 4 character. Just please don't. I can't do melee again. I just after Shinji last time, like I learned to adapt, but my goodness, melee is just not my bag, baby.
So you do have big leagues,
Oh boy.
No.
Okay.
but you also have gunslinger
Oh, okay.
Oh,
there you go.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Multifaceted. Okay, so
and demolition expert.
okay, this
Boom.
is fun.
Mines
Jack of
and
all
shit.
trades. So character name
Rankin.
Rankin.
It's a male character named Rankin.
Rankin and Bass.
Um,
Awesome.
And so strength of 3, perception 3, endurance 4, charisma 3, intelligence 9, agility 3, luck of 3.
Wow. Now, does that feel low to anybody else? Like, does that feel like
That doesn't
the
add up to
allocations
28,
on the
does it?
low side? Yeah, does that even add up to 28? Wow.
Shit.
It must.
You only gave her 21.
18 plus 9. Yeah, it must be 19 plus 9. Yeah. I'll be ranking up. Exactly, Lee.
Ranking
Okay, that's
up.
exciting. And what are my factions?
The Minutemen, Children of Apple, Children of
Should have
Apple,
Apple.
and
Gets an
that's the most
iPhone.
evil faction available, and Disciples.
Whoa. Okay, that is interesting. So Children of Adam, I haven't sided with before. I mean, I've played their stuff, but I haven't ultimately sided with them, so that'll be different. Minutemen, obviously, can do whatever, no big deal. Disciples, gross. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Now,
Why is everyone
because
getting
we are all
Disciples?
rolling, do we want to have different factions, or we're just going to see where the generator takes us?
Oh, I don't know. Do you have an opinion on that, Ray?
I don't know if that's really going to impact us or not. Let's see.
Let's see what happens,
Let's see what happens.
and then we can fight over who gets to side with
Yeah,
Dima.
and we can tweak them on the side anyway.
All right. So Andrew,
Yes, sir.
also gets 4 rolls.
Woohoo.
Rankin. It's kind of a cool name.
Hopefully I'm Bass.
It sounds very Star Wars, though. Like, I don't know. Maybe because it sounds like Bespin or something, or the Rancor.
Yeah. What was there was a old cartoon company, Rankin and Bass.
Yeah.
Didn't they do the old Hobbit?
They did Rudolph and the Old Hobbit and Frosty the Snowman. Yeah.
All right. So Andrew
Yeah.
has a female
of course.
named Patrick.
What? Why?
His follower is Old Longfellow.
Long nuts.
We've got Brotherhood of Steel, Children of Adam,
No,
and
Brotherhood.
Disciples.
Okay, wait. Children of Adam and Disciples again? Like, I'm sorry. I don't know if it's the 4 rolls or what. Are you seeing other factions when you're re-rolling? Ray, is
Yeah.
it just luck of the draw? Wow, okay.
That is crazy.
Do you want one more?
No, I'm
Wait.
I'm good with this. Yeah.
Okay.
We can always tweak our factions if we want different factions.
Right, for the diversity factor, yeah.
Yeah.
What's our
But
special
Patrick?
look like? For
Our-
Patrick.
Pat is a good name. So, how many rolls is Ray going to get?
4.
Show us the die, Ray. I kid. Yeah, okay, you guys, it is 4. No, it's like, obviously, if you were rolling, you would rather roll lower. So, it's kind of funny that we all got 4 rolls.
Way to die. Just like the disciples.
Oh shoot, man! I just passed up a strength of 9.
Oh,
Oof.
boy. So, if anybody else in chat right now, if anybody in chat does want a character and didn't let us know, do let us know and we will roll you one as well. But obviously, you can roll on the side yourself, too.
Yeah. All right. So I ended up with a strength of 9
There you go. Awesome.
and a perception of 1 and an endurance of 2.
Oh no.
You can hit it real good if you can find it, but oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a waste. Charisma of 5.
Well, you're not far from local leader, but you don't do settlements anyway. So, well, maybe change up your usual play thing and concentrate on those settlements.
Well, so I've got the Railroad, Children of Adam, and Operators.
There you
Oh,
go.
wow.
See, it is
Okay.
possible to get other ones.
Ish.
Yeah, we all have Children of Adam, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we're gonna have to mix that up. But you got the Operators
I
and
just-
Railroad too. My
Ray's
goodness.
one of the few non-disciples out there.
Ooh, and I got Aqua Girl.
Silior mentions Ray was Minutemen last time. Yes, he was. Yep.
Yeah.
I was BOS. Andrew was. Were you Railroad, Andrew?
You're talking. I don't remember last week, let alone
I know. What am I talking
4
about?
years ago.
So my character is a female, and my character's name is Muhammad.
Awesome.
Wow. Very
So of
cool.
course we can always play with those, but that is cool.
Yeah.
Well, there are our characters.
Beautiful.
Any-
Anyone
Maybe
in chat
we'll just
pipe
make it
in?
Moo Mad.
Is that a reference to something, Ray?
No, it's just
Okay.
It's a good name.
Yeah. All right. Did anybody in chat pipe in that they need a character or anything like that?
Nope.
All right, then.
Yeah, Lee mentioning that name might upset some people. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we do with that. But those are our roles. So thank you everybody for asking for a character role. And of course, that does not limit you. If you want to roll a character and send in feedback all the way through, you can. You can even send in feedback on Fallout 4, separate from the playthrough once it gets going. You know, we love feedback in general. And I say that because we actually got some feedback from Craig about something. What was that this time?
Yeah, well, Craig and his group of buddies like to game and do the D&D and all sorts of different games like that. So they got recently into the tabletop RPG for Fallout, and Craig was nice enough to send us in some audio feedback about his experience. So let's take a listen to some feedback.
As we dance in the air, we make feedback.
Hello, Fallout feed. Craig here, long time no see or talk to or whatever. So I'm here with an update of the Fallout tabletop RPG that I started playing in. I had mentioned it in the Facebook group, and Andrew thought it might be good for me to call in and do a little update. So we have 5 players. There are 2 gunslinger types. One players, though, he's going to switch to a melee super mutant. Then we have 1 Miss Nanny bot and 1 Miss Orderly bot. And then I am playing a ghoul who is a former NCR ranger. He left the NCR due to a disagreement over how a nest of feral ghouls was handled, and that kind of came up in our game a little bit. So we're all in Arizona. It's about 10 years after the events of New Vegas. We're in a town called Terminus that's off of Route 66. We were all tasked with scavenging a local landfill to get some parts to fix all the turrets. So we ended up making it to the landfill, and then we kind of split off into groups to kind of search garbage piles. One of the groups triggered a mole rat attack when some garbage shifted. It lashed out at the Miss Nanny, and after a pretty quick firefight, we were victorious. And then we moved on to some more piles of garbage and came up with a bunch of pretty good salvage. My ghoul and the Miss Orderly, we were searching together, and we ended up having a pile of garbage crash down upon us and did a little bit of damage, nothing too serious. We pulled ourselves out and moved to another part of the landfill. In this area, we had found that someone had built a fort out of the garbage. We moved into this area, and a couple of feral ghouls popped out. One of the gunslingers gun-fooded the crap out of these ghouls, and they laid dead before I could react. I kind of launched into the gunslinger, tackling him to the ground. We could have settled that without killing them, but in the end, the rest of the group broke us up before our little fight got too serious, and we ended up checking out the rest of the garbage fort. We found some more salvage, including a pistol, some food, some water, and a power armor piece. All in all, it was a pretty good day of scavenging. Then we heard a vertibird flying overhead. It seemed like it was in a little bit of trouble. I think one of the engines was smoking or something, if I remember correctly. But we started heading that way to see if there was anything we could do to help, or at worst case scenario, get some even better salvage. But that we ended our session, and not this Friday, but next Friday is going to be our next session. So we'll find out what happened with the vertibird then. My thoughts on the system itself. So coming off of like D&D 5th edition, Pathfinder 2nd edition, those are the latest two games that we've been playing. The Fallout system took just a little bit to get used to. It's like slightly different. It's a pretty good system. You roll two 20-sided dice, and you need to get lower than the target number that you have, which the target number is usually one of your specials and then your rank in that skill. So like I have a 9 in my agility and I have 3 in guns. I have to roll 2d20s or more. You can, if you want to buy more dice, you can. But basically, I had to get lower than a 12, and that would count as a success. If it got like a 1 or something, it would be a critical success. But anyway, I think I'm going to have fun with this system, and we're only going to play probably maybe 8 sessions. I don't know exactly what the DM's got planned for us, but anyway, that's where I'm going to leave you. So I will see you in the Wasteland.
Awesome, thanks, Craig. He used DM, which stands for Dungeon Master, as far as I know. I was going to ask, like if it would be called something else. I don't know, like Modus.
Yeah,
or something.
well, I mean, it depends. Some people like to customize it. Are you playing the Overseer? GM is probably more common.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, GM is probably more common than DM these days. DM was back in D&D days, and now they use GM more often because it's multiple games.
Have either of you ever played tabletop games in general, or this one specifically?
So, yeah, I mean, I've done a ton, actually, back in the day. Not as much in the last decade, I prefer video games these days mostly. But growing up, I played D&D, I played Vampire the Masquerade, I played Cyberpunk, quite a bit of all of those. And then I've, dabbled a few others. And then for the Modifius Fallout game, I actually joined Rad Rolls. Some of our listeners are familiar with Dave Chafin's group. Rad Rolls, they're a Fallout RPG podcast. And I joined them last September. For a charity fundraiser, and did 4 sessions for a one-shot. And so I'm familiar with the system a little bit, and it was awesome. It was really fun.
Because that seemed different to me, that you have to aim under whatever, the thing. It's like I was always, my minimal experience is just on the Skyrim 10 AD show that we used to do. And that was my first introduction to anything like that, really. So it's sort of interesting to hear the differences in the
there are different modified
systems.
versions of Roll20, and saving throws versus successes. Some things you got to roll under, some things over.
Yeah.
It depends on the system, but so this is the Modifius. I think there's 2 versions of it. There's like the straight role playing game out of the book, and then there's the Wasteland Warfare, where you're actually using miniatures and such. But they might work on the same rule set. I'm not actually sure about that.
Very cool. All right, Craig, thanks so much for letting us know and keep us informed on your journey throughout the Wasteland there. It was good to hear from you again, bud. All right, Jess, what else do we have on the notes tonight? I think we got a little bit of news to get into. Iguana Bits.
Okay, let's hit the Iguana Bits. So we've got 2 weeks worth of news, but I mean, there's a ton to talk about, but not really too. You know what I mean? It's we'll keep it short and sweet tonight. So Update 42 has come out for Fallout 76. We knew that was on the calendar, and it finally came last week. It is mostly a quality of life and bug fixes update, but some really cool things about it. Going over the highlights, one big thing is the mod description changes. So they've acknowledged that some of the descriptions are rather vague, and people are always trying to dig in to understand the numbers behind things. Like, well, how good is this versus that? You know, junkies versus bloodies versus overeaters, you know, and those kind of things. So they're finally giving us actual numbers and mod descriptions, which I think is awesome. Okay, so basically this is mostly on legendary weapon things. So here's a little example for you. Okay, so for instance, the, what's the Richie Rich perk? The Aristocrats perk, okay? It used to say damage increases as caps increase. Well, now it says damage increases for every 1,000 caps you have up to 50%. So you actually
nice.
know now what you need to do in order to get it. Here's the one for Bloodied. So this is a big one. Damage increases as health decreases is what Bloodied used to be. Okay, we all knew that. But what does that mean? Damage increases up to 95%. As health decreases. Now I know you can almost double your damage as you get down.
That's just unfair. Why is Aristocrats not 95% increase up to 40,000 caps? Come on.
This surprises me, and that's something I never knew. We know how Bloodied works with unyielding and stuff like that, but yeah, it always seemed like Bloodied did more damage, and I thought it capped at 50, but no, most of the others do. So here's a couple other examples. Let's see. So Junkies. Junkies is a pretty powerful meta. Okay, it used to say damage increases when suffered from addictions. Now it says plus 10% damage per addiction up to 50%. Yeah. Once again, caps at 50 with 5 addictions.
That's unfair. Bloody needs to be capped at 50%. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it does. It does. Damage increases 5% for each mutation. Now says plus 5% damage for each mutation up to 25%. So if you're going to be mutated damage bonus, you're only getting 25% max.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, how is that balanced?
Yeah, for the people who make such a big goddamn deal about going in and taking stuff away and making sure everything's balanced for the sake of fairness, that's obnoxious that they would let one of those mutations have a 95% increase and most of the others just 50. That's ridiculous.
Here was the thought behind it when it was made, I assume. I mean, obviously, we can't read the mind of, of the devs, you know, and I don't know if I've ever seen an interview where they actually talked about this from anyone. Maybe I've read something about it, but the idea is that Bloodied, or being a low health build, is an inherently more risky build. So your character's on the verge of death. Therefore, they expect most people who would actually have that as a perk in the regular games, okay, to not be down at living at 5% health all the time or 10% health all the time. You know, they expect them to be more like the way I play it, hybrid Bloodied, where, you know, character might be 50% health, might be at full health, and only as they take damage during combat, they go up and up and up during the course of combat. So they start normal. As they get damaged, they go up and up and up. But of course, we game the system. We min the max. And so people have learned how to keep their health way down using radiation and such and completely changed it. So yeah, it should be kept at 50%. Agreed.
I'm miffed, man. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. But that is part of the update. Okay, so we've got better descriptions on all of these. It goes for armor too on a number of things. Quality of life. Here's a really good one. When you want to craft multiple of something, you used to have a slider, but now if you're on, you know, PC, there's a number input option. You can go and you can say, I'm going to craft 100 of this, and boom,
nice.
You can do it.
Good deal.
Daily Ops has a new reward, an alien backpack skin and an intergalactic handmade rifle skin.
Ooh.
Something to actually do daily ops for those who have gotten all of the rewards and prizes. There's now something new. Beyond that, for update 42, it's mostly bug fixes and improvements. You know, if you need to know about that, of course, you can just go to fallout.bethesda.net to actually read the patch notes. I don't have a huge list here, but just a couple of highlights. Let's see. Cowspot's Creamery. If you got that cool prefab, your ally would get stuck all the time. Now they won't. Giant dinosaur. So he used to have a huge, this is a camp building thing. He used to have a huge area of effect. You put down the dinosaur and you put an item like right next to him. Yeah. It would then kind of stick to the dinosaur, you know, like some things stick to each other in the rugs and foundations.
Yes.
They fixed that. So you can move stuff around more.
Oh, good.
Beyond that, mutated events. Let's see. No, not much more there. Really, there weren't that many highlights this one. Oh, energy weapons. That is something I should mention. Energy weapons with high base damage used to take a lot. They used to degrade really fast. And all energy weapons in general were degrading too fast. When we first, it was when Nuka World on Tour first came out, it was horrible. They then went and they fixed it somewhat, so it was better, but it was still more than it used to be. So they've gone back in there and they tweaked it. So energy weapons with high base damage, like Plasma Caster or Tesla weapons, they now lose less durability per shot. Other energy weapons with lower base damage use slightly less durability per slot. So every one of them should last longer, long story short.
Good deal.
Beyond that, yeah, that's pretty much it. They fixed something on rerolls too. You used to not be able to see any rerolls that if you bought rerolls from the Atomic Shop, it wouldn't show them until you actually logged out and back in. So they fixed that. And they fixed the infinite loading screen if you're doing a bulk rank up. If you're on the scoreboard and you're trying to rank up multiple levels at once, there was a chance it would lock up your game. They say they have fixed that.
Oh.
Hopefully that's true.
Never noticed that one.
It's just a potential feature, not one that happened every time. But so that's that's the small update 42 we got. Okay, not necessarily the most exciting, but finally, and obviously we were off last week, so I didn't get to crow about it. But I said we were gonna get good information finally because they were getting more active on the Twitter and such. And yes, so last week we finally did get real information on what's coming. Did we get a roadmap? No.
I was gonna ask.
But did we get, update after the update? Yes, we heard not just about the update that has come out now, but we got information on Once in a Blue Moon. And excitingly,
Nice.
I'm actually really excited about what it's going to involve. So it is a content update, and it's going to be a bit of a kind of scattershot mixed content update, which are my favorite kind. Okay, it puts me in mind of what I talk about, how Wild Appalachia is one of my favorite. Like, yeah, Wastelanders, Still Dawn, Still Rain, sure, quest updates are great. Nuclear Winter, great. But Wild Appalachia, the way it added in Sheep Squatch and the hints and clues and the Lying Low quest line and all the things that came with it, I loved that one. And that's what we're doing here. So in the upcoming update, Once in a Blue Moon, we're going to get 2 new cryptids coming up.
Woohoo! New baddies.
Yes, finally on the map. And in fact, yeah, the way they did it was great. They showed a picture in black, and it reminded me of Pokemon. It's all,
Who's that Pokemon?
so they showed us a question mark with the black frame. We had to guess who it is. For any of my Pokemon fans, you recognize that.
Yeah.
The new
Mo
Pokemon
loves that game. When he was watching a bunch of Pokemon episodes, that was our favorite thing to do together. I never, ever got them right.
Yeah, I was soon the second I saw that, I'm like, that is absolutely Who's That Pokemon, the way they're doing it.
That's hilarious.
But the cryptids are going to be the Blue Devil. So what's neat about both of these is that they were shown on the scoreboard. Our current scoreboard season is Rip Daring Cryptid Hunter. And there are a bunch of cryptids added there. We're kind of like, oh, who's this one? Who's that one? Fun ones like Squonk, the Crying Pig. Well, one of them was the Blue Devil. So the Blue Devil is really kind of a werewolf character. And it seems to be, in my mind, a part of the reason why it's named Once in a Blue Moon, okay? Because werewolves, lycanthropy, connected to the phases of the moon.
Right.
And here's the description. Far off in the darkness of the tree line, a pair of glowing eyes reflect the moonlight in an inquisitive stare. The eyes hover around the base of the tree before raising slowly. Your skin crawls as you see hooked claws reach out and grip the tree before it raises up, towering over you. It lifts its long muzzle towards the night sky. Glistening rows of needle-like teeth, a strange howl fills the air with an almost human-like snarl interlaced between its horrifying song. So it's a big-ass werewolf cryptid. Well, I don't know if it's a werewolf. It may be always a wolf. But, the Blue Devil, Blue Moon, it seems like a werewolf by any other name. And this is not, as far as I know, a real cryptid. Obviously, let me know if I'm wrong. Like, there's a Jersey Devil and stuff, and maybe we've heard of this one. But yeah, it's not a cryptid I'm familiar with. So the Blue Devil.
If I get infected with, how's that pronounced? Lycanthropy? How would that be pronounced?
Yeah, lycanthropy.
Werewolfism. If I get infected with that and have to go find a goddamn black soul gem to cure this shit, I'm gonna lose my mind.
It's a witch's head.
Yeah,
That's
go
a-
find Hag Raven.
That's a Skyrim joke for all you Fallout people out there.
Archon mentioning that the Blue Devil looks like a Sheep Squatch reskin, which, yeah, it might be based on the base. They have creature bases. Like the Sheep Squatch was actually a modified Deathclaw base, and then they resculpted and changed some things. And so, yeah, Blue Devil does look like a skinnier, taller Sheep Squatch, possibly. We'll see when it comes out, but that looks really neat. So the other cryptid is the Agua.
So for college interested people, so Duke is the Blue Devils.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Duke Blue Devils. That is their mascot. Good call.
I wonder if that's a reference then. So maybe the Blue Devil does exist, because when they name teams, it's usually after something.
The Blue Devil Scare of 1939-1940. Huh.
Blue Devil is a creature, real-life West Virginia folklore, reportedly sighted in Webster County during winter of 1940.
In the town of Jumbo, West Virginia. Oh, that's cool. They have a town named Jumbo.
Neat. So that is not one I was familiar with. So there is some legends to the Blue Devil, not to be confused with Jersey Devil, similarly named but more well-known distinct cryptid. Okay.
It's a bluish dog-like creature larger than a pony. And a ghostly howl.
Well, speaking of larger than a pony, the next cryptid, the Agua. So I don't know if it's Agua, Ogua. I'm calling it Agua, basically, like water. The Agua is a large turtle-like creature, kind of like cross between a turtle and Stegosaurus.
Oh, fuck, yes.
Here's the description for this one. Walking through the cranberry glade, a large, strangely shaped boulder catches your eye. Its edges are rough and sharp, the ground surrounding it freshly disturbed. Through your countless adventures exploring the cranberry bog, you are fairly certain you've never seen a rock quite like this before. With the butt of your rifle, you give it a tap to see how sturdy it is. The sound that meets your ears sends your brain into curiosity. That is not the sound of a rock. Before your mind can settle on an answer, it begins to shake and groan. Ground around you rumbles, knocking you off your feet. You stare in awe and terror as a massive turtle-like creature rises from the ground before you, easily the height of 5 men, with deep-set eyes and a large hooked beak.
Fuck yes, it's Gamera.
Totally Gamera. So this is interesting because the other one towers above a man for the Blue Devil, so it's probably, at least twice person height, but this one says the height of 5 men.
So that's going to be a reskin behemoth then, right?
It makes you think, like behemoth size, or, not Mole Rat Titan, but, halfway there.
Well, it could be Mole Rat Titan. I didn't even think of that. Wow.
Which also makes you wonder if it's going to be a location-specific cryptid. So they mentioned the Cranberry Bog here, so it should be an encounter in the Cranberry Bog. But will it be like a boss fight type cryptid where an event happens, it pops up, and you have to surround it because it's so large, like with the Titan? Not sure.
And it only goes to the top of the hour, and everyone has to show up to get it for a daily. Yeah.
So it's still, a lot of that is still unknown. But yeah, Archon says Cranberry Glade. Exactly, because that's part of the description. It makes sense. Before we saw all this and I first heard about the Agua, I was hoping it was Toxic Valley, because if it is a large creature, that would be a place that has a lot of open space and room to have a fight.
How are you spelling that? Agua.
Ogua.
Ogua. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So from folklore, it's a alligator snapping turtle.
Oh my God! Look at that goddamn thing! Holy cow!
Giant 2-headed alligator snapping turtle. 500 pounds.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
A 20-foot long monster. Holy cow. 500-pound alligator snapping turtle. Jesus
so we're getting
Christ.
these 2 new cryptids. We're getting events to go with. There's more information. So a lot of what I'm reading is coming from the first reveal. Here are the actual events. So the public events currently in the PTS people doing it right now are 2 Blue Ridge Caravan events. And that's the other big part of this update, by the way, and why I said it kind of reminds me of Wild Appalachia. Not only are we getting different cryptids and stuff related to them, we're getting Blue Ridge Caravan lore and events.
Oh, nice.
So one thing the Blue Ridge has done, they've renovated the Middle Mountain cabins. Right now where you currently find honeybees and rad scorpions most of the time.
Yeah.
They're setting up a location as a Brahmin pit stop, trading post area. But they can't seem to keep the local critters at bay. So there'll be a repeller speaker system, repel the creatures. Going to be kind of the classic 76 event thing where you need to keep things repaired and you need to defend a perimeter. But
That's
it
cool.
should be fun.
Well, at least I got a new path instead of just walking back and forth from those two locations, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's going to be fun, and you'll get rewards, and there'll be fun stuff. The other one, Beasts of Burden. So here's the description for that. After a trade deal goes wrong, Luke Acosta finds himself in need of some help. A group of cultists has stolen his Brahmin and a cargo of explosives. His uncle Vinny will not be happy if he catches wind of it. And of course, Vinny Costa, as we know, is the current second in command of the Blue Ridge Caravan over on the east side of Big Bend Tunnel. So this is his nephew. This is his nephew, Luke Acosta. Be extra careful not to disturb the local wildlife, however, as cultists have recently noticed strange rumblings in the woods nearby. Please note, the daily Costa business quest will not be active during the PTS. Okay, so that's a whole separate story there. So yeah, a new event happening with Luke Costa, cultists, and Brahmin and explosives. We don't have a lot of details, but that sounds really neat. Here is the other thing it referenced at the end there. So, and this is what I'm most excited about. There's going to be a set of daily quests that they're calling the Vinny Costa Daily Quests. And it says, Vinny hasn't been happy with the performance of his employees lately. I mean, is Vinny ever happy? Anyway, he'll throw some caps at anyone willing to solve the problem. Players can learn all about what has the caravanner's boot stuck in the mud and collect unique rewards along the way in a series of one-off daily quests. So this is actual story quest content, where it's a daily quest, but you can do it at any time. You know what I mean? You can do one and then come back and do another a few days later, whatever. But you can only do them each once, like a classic quest. So it's a series of 7 quests. Each has a unique Blue Ridge themed reward, ranging from camp items to outfits. And after you do all 7, you can get a special side quest, but they don't tell us what it's going to be. So essentially, we're getting Blue Ridge Caravan lore and story here with a couple of new locations, a couple of new events, and then this quest line with Vinny.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Blue Moon.
So beyond that, and I mean, there's more to it too. There's lots of little things coming. This is going to be, I mean, this is the first big update of the year. You know, kind of like Expeditions and Nuka World on Tour was. Once in a Blue Moon will be the first big update, which means we didn't technically get a big update in spring, aside from, you know, double mutations. Mutated events are kind of the first update. Yeah. So maybe less than some people wanted, but they're still happening. You know, as I say, it was only a little over 4 months ago we got Nuka World on Tour. 2 months ago we got the new season and double mutated events, and now, you know, a few things today, and then in another month and a half we're gonna get Once in a Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. All right,
just to wrap up
good.
the iguana bits, I do want to look ahead at the calendar because finally I've been talking about it for it seems like a month, waiting for it to happen. But we're going to get Mothman Equinox again, starting on the 25th. So that's this coming Tuesday.
Hey, there you go.
It's one of my fave events. It runs for 2 full weeks. This year, it's actually almost on the equinox. Thank God. We had it winter solstice. We had it summer solstice. Now we've got it a month late for the spring equinox. But hey, it's closer. And of course, this is the one where you're helping the enlightened in Point Pleasant as they kind of stave off the dim ones and the other cultists as they try to, you know, pervert the Mothman. And I love the way it's brought in the story lore between the different factions. We now have good cultist lore. And for those who don't know, as you complete events, you do unlock books in the church. Okay, the journals and sacred texts of the enlightened, where you learn about their history and their precepts and all that. And it's funny, Archon was in when I was telling people about this on the show last week. Archie mentioned he thinks there's 21 quests you need to complete. I was thinking it was like 28. But yeah, so after you do enough of them, and I'm sure he's right, 21 quests or so, you can unlock all the books and learn all the lore.
Wow. Sounds fun.
Yeah. I'm excited to get back to it. It's just fun. I like the purple sky, pictures with Mothman. It's one of those events that isn't over too quickly either. You know what I mean? Everyone there actually gets to participate.
Mm-hmm. The albino radstag blood and the troughs and all that, right?
Yeah, all the floaty red butterflies.
Oh, those are actually really pretty. I love those.
I like them too. I tried getting pics with them. They've just ended up creepy, but it was fun.
What, creepy pictures? What, at the blood trough? Come on.
I'm like, I want to get pretty pictures at the blood trough. Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
So you added an iguana bit here that you saw, Andrew.
Yeah, I was just loading up some Fallout 4, getting ready to build my character immediately after the show. I'm always so excited after we draw characters. I want to hit the ground running. But I was just looking at the Creation Club just to see if there's any free stuff. And right now, if you head to the Creation Club on Fallout 4, you can get the graphic t-shirt pack free on the Fallout 4 Creation Club. So if you'd like some graphic t-shirts, and that doesn't mean like super bloody gory scenes, it's just cute little pictures like Nuka-Cola t-shirts and all sorts of fun stuff. So go ahead and hit up your Fallout 4 Creation Club before you start your character. Get yourself a fresh t-shirt to run in.
Yeah, I like those shirts. That's a great pack. And it's free off and on. I definitely have them, and I don't think I paid for them either.
Beautiful.
So that is a good one. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in the Creation Club. They have sales regularly. We used to talk about them. We don't so much anymore, but hey, remember to check every once in a while and see if there's something you can get for free.
I try to log in.
Skins, other things.
I try to log in and get all the free stuff whenever I can, to remember that. Oh, and there's one thing I wanted to mention from the Atomic Shop in Fallout 76 as I don't know, maybe you mentioned it, but the alien rad dummy is really cool looking. Like, they have a super mutant big one and a normal person size one, the radiation dummy, but they have a little smaller alien size one now. So I picked that up today because I thought that looked really cute.
Awesome. And Archon dropping a link in chat. Yeah, so basically for the 6 tomes, it is 21 to get to the last one, The False Gods of Appalachia. That's the one I believe written by Wise Nathaniel the Shadowed. I think I only unlocked half of them. I think I'm only up to 10 or 12 completions. So hopefully this time I actually finish it and can finally finish the lore.
Beautiful. All right. Sounds good. Get those lore books, you guys. All right. That sounds like the wrap up of Iguana Bits there. So the last thing I have for the show tonight is just to give some congratulations to all those folks who were lucky enough to join us on Scorecation. So Sullior, congratulations.
Scorecation!
Kaiju Kittens, congrats.
Scorecation!
And Eddie did it on 2 different platforms.
Scorecation!
And Eddie, your second one.
Scorecation!
We also got Merrick from Forge Breaker.
Scorecation!
And Jeff.
This last one, it isn't actually a scorecation. It's a warning.
Uh-oh. A warning for Jeff.
Scorecation!
Yep. No, Jeff's saying, Ray, I'm coming for you. I'm going to catch your score soon. Watch out.
He's going to catch your 2 or whatever, Ray.
Scorecation!
No, I still have no bar.
None. Oh, that is
on level 1.
That's an achievement in and of itself. Holy shit.
That's the game he's playing. Trying to avoid.
Zero score.
Well, have you even loaded into the game?
Yeah.
You have. That's impressive. So it's
and I will again. It's gonna be dicey again when I get in to do the Equinox event.
You'll accidentally get some score. Better watch out.
Yeah.
Try not to kill anything. All right, you guys. Is there any other topics we'd like to bring up for the show tonight?
We had one more thing on the agenda that we haven't covered, but I'm happy to put it off while we kind of work through stuff if you want, because I don't have my notes fully organized. But we do need to talk through the quest mods and the general shape of the season.
Okay, so, let's do just a brief breakdown of it, and then we can get into more details as we develop.
Right. Yep. And I'll share my mod list. Ray can share his mod collection. I say share my mod list. You guys, I went overboard. There's a reason why I spent 3 weeks installing and testing. I'm running at 112 mods on Xbox.
Oh, good Lord.
But I left 400 meg free because you need to leave room because we are doing these quest mods that we're going to swap in and run some quests. I left a good 400 meg free. But I've got a lot of stuff, but I'll pare it down to some of my recommended essentials for a fun survival experience with some extras and tailored stuff for you guys playing on Xbox. And of course, Ray can, sky's the limit on PC, you guys. Yeah. Do whatever you want, any collection you want. You don't need to worry about room. That's the big thing with Xbox.
Just throw in another hard drive.
Just buy a new hard drive for your mods.
That's all it takes.
I'm nervous if I go over 10, and Jess is like, oh, I've got 112. I'm like, oh, Lord.
That's part of the sorting, though, because on Xbox, you got to really sort the load order. Not everything's available, and you have a max limit. You know, you only have the 2 gigabytes of space, which is just not enough.
It's
I
obnoxious.
did some
that
real
Skyrim
texture
gets
sacrifices this time.
Sorry, I just said it's obnoxious that Skyrim gets more.
It is. It's so not fair. When we get into the next gen update, which is really funny that we are playing Fallout 4 before the next gen update comes out, but hey, it's time. We couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah. Too excited.
Yeah,
Totally
they're lost.
feel it. So the general shape of the season, okay, it's a DLC focused season, and that means because we're not going to start Far Harbor till at least level 20 or so, and then Nuka World after that, we wanted to basically, you have to fill the front half of, you know, your character development. And so talking about it, we're like, well, let's do some suggested quest mods to play on the way, but also the first couple weeks of feedback being like my path to level 10, you know, my path to level 20, or like just what have I done so far? You know what I mean? A diversity of experience from our characters. We'll report on what we did, how we leveled to get on our way to ultimately 20 when we go to Far Harbor. As far as the actual quest mods, so I mentioned I wanted to do a selection of the featured mods from Bethesda, okay, because they do feature mods pretty regularly that they suggest people try. Funny thing is, what I didn't realize, they haven't suggested any real good quest mods in the last year and a half. So a lot of the ones that are out there now to play are ones that they suggested previously. So I do have that list still of some older ones, and there are some new ones. A lot of them are also too large. If there's a quest mod that's 300 meg to install, or say there's one, let me pull up my list. Okay, I'll tell you some that I found. So for instance, they recommended the Commonwealth Responders quest line. That was one that was recommended last year. Guess how many quests are involved in that, Andrew?
I don't know. Main quest is like 18, so I don't know. 12.
28.
28? What? That's obnoxious.
They're like, yeah, it's a 450 meg quest mod. So we're not loading the Commonwealth Responders.
Wow.
You know, same with like the Fens Sheriff Department, which is an awesome mod we talked about the other day, dealing with, you know, an expansion in Diamond City and a whole thing where you've got the Sheriff's Department and their quest line. That stuff is too large. So we're looking at like more one-off, small quests, 1 or 2 part quests, okay?
Okay. Gee whiz.
Let's see, what do I have? So here are a couple. What I thought we could do, if you want, and maybe we'll save it for next week, was I could just basically talk through them, what they are, and you guys say, yes, we want to do that one. No, we don't want to do that one. Do you want to do that today, or do you want to do that another time?
Well, how about you toss out some names and, I don't know. How about we do a little research on the side and then come back to that next week? What do you say?
Sounds good. Yeah, because I mean, I do have a list here, and my thought was basically like I'd go through the list of like 10 or 12, and we'd say, okay, let's do this one. Should we put it earlier or later and all that? But we can wait and do that next week.
Okay. Yeah, and that'll help us shape out the season as well.
The great things about quest mods, in a lot of cases, once you do them and you get rewards and stuff from them, you kind of got to keep in your load order, but you can introduce them later
actually,
on.
right.
Like,
if people want to build their characters, they need the mod list now. So actually, let's go ahead and at least list hear a little bit about them. I don't know. What do you think? What do you say?
Once again, like I'm saying, quest mods are separate. Quest mods, it doesn't impact that the same way. The majority of quest mods you can add after the fact.
All right, sounds good. So as long as we make sure that they're ones that won't interfere and fuck stuff up for people, then we can get to that next week. But I don't want to make people hold off on building their characters and such.
Right. No, people are going to want to get that set up over the next week or two.
Yeah.
For sure. Ray, did you have any thoughts on that too? I mean, is that the right general idea? Should we only pick like 4 or 5 quest mods? Like, how many do you think we should do? How do you think we should organize that?
Yeah, I mean, not a ton of them, because there's other stuff to do in the meantime as well. You know, if you're going to get, you know, in with your factions, and, you know, if you're into settlement building, you know, building out a few settlements,
get your romance going.
It doesn't take long to get up there.
Well, in survival, remember, everyone, if you die, you go back to your last save too. So you be ready to reload 1 billion times and waste hours and hours and hours of time. Basically, I'm saying get yourself some sort of save mod.
Yeah, that's super important. Separate from the quest mods, definitely a save mod. Gopher makes a great one that is a quick slot item that you can do a save anywhere. It uses your quick save, so you can never have more than 3, and a new quick save will save over it, but at least it lets you do a quick save before you go in someplace dangerous, and that way you have a backup.
Yeah.
So Gopher has a good one for that. There's another one that you can basically save by clicking on any bed instead of having to sleep. You can just click on it. But here, you know what? We're gonna do this. Okay. So let me tell you some fun mods. This is one I found for you, Andrew.
Okay.
It's called Beastmaster, the creature companion.
Ooh, that sounds
And
lovely.
this is a companion mod that lets you tame and design your own creatures. So, or, kind of customize them. So, you can put your Deathclaw in a hat or make them all glowing and stuff like that. So you can tame the
nice.
creatures of the Commonwealth as your companion. I thought you might enjoy that.
Hell yes.
So I only got a small quest involved, not really a quest mod, just one I thought that was neat. There's one, I'm going to the weird ones first that we're going to not probably do, unless you want to put them on for yourself. Rise of the Necromancer. Have you heard of this, Ray?
It sounds familiar. I think I may have that in one of my collections.
Sounds like a Skyrim thing.
Right, magic isn't just for Skyrim anymore. Rise of the Necromancer lets your character learn magic through like 3 or 4 levels of magic where you're resurrecting characters, casting spells, and all that. Bizarre.
Fucking
Bizarre.
ritual stone. Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see. That's not coming up on the Nexus.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it is. It's on Bethesda Net, and it's Rise of the Necromancer. I obviously mentioned the Commonwealth Responder one already. I could not believe how large that was. Here's another one that made me laugh that I came across. That's just mods I saw that made me laugh. These were all on the featured mod list, of course, which is why I'm mentioning them. Capital Wasteland McCready. So you're taking your character of McCready in Fallout 4, but you're putting him in his outfit from Fallout 3. So he's got like the big ass helmet and the scarf and stuff like that. And he just looks ridiculous.
That's
Cracked
cute.
me up.
I thought we were going to have a kid companion.
No, he's still the same age. So let's see. One interesting quest mod I thought about installing that I don't know if it should be on our list for people, but it's called Project Lunar. Have either of you heard of this one?
I've seen that one while browsing around, but I didn't look into it. Is that the one that takes place on the moon?
It takes you to the moon. It's just outside Concord and it transports you to the moon. I don't know if you've ever done it. It says it just has one small quest, Ray.
Yeah, it's one of the one that is in one of my
Your
collections.
story one that has everything.
Yeah, probably. It had a ton
561.
of quest mods in it.
Fun.
But let's go to the real possible quest mods. Okay, so
Okay.
I've got a number written down that were featured that I thought were funny. There are a couple more, but let's go to the actual real ones. So one that I really think we should install and try is Radium Inc. Okay, Radium Inc. Let me just read you the quick description. Radium Inc. is the United States' premier manufacturer of radium-infused products. Line includes, but not limited to, cameras, toy trucks, teddy bears, rockets, soap, and toothpaste. Stop by our headquarters in the Dartmouth Professional Building, take a tour of our facility. Limited time only. Select customers have been sent promotional tokens in the mail. Bring yours along for a free Radium product. So basically, it adds a new dungeon in Radium Inc. headquarters. So it's a new building and a dungeon. And it's got an AI. It's got a nice quest in the dungeon, but supposedly not too difficult. You should be able to do this anytime after level 10. So that would be an interesting one to put in there.
Why on earth would you want a radium-infused product? that
Because
sounds,
it glows.
that just sounds
Yeah,
dangerous.
We'll see how the game sells us on it, but I mean, heck, Nuka-Cola sold us on Nuka-Cola Quantum, so anything is possible.
You want your
But you
watch
can-
to give you cancer? All right.
Investigate the company, and what's interesting is it also adds a bunch of new items to the leveled lists across the Wasteland. So if we do install this one as a potential thing, it'll let us find some new items too, which I thought would be kind of cool.
Cool. Radium Inc.
That's possible. Yeah, I'm marking that one down as a possible. Also, this is one that was recommended to us and we almost played last time. It's called Vault 28, The Absent Ghoul. Have you done this one yet, Ray?
No, I didn't do it. I've got it.
Okay, good. So on the western side of the Commonwealth, so in other words, we can do this in the first half of our playthrough, which is great. You come across the home of Christopher Fredrickson, one of the grumpiest beings to ever walk the wasteland.
Okay, I lied. I did do that one.
Okay, you have seen it before. Okay, good. It's
Yeah.
got voiced NPCs. It's got quests and a vault to explore. So it's level based, which means you can do it at any level. So if you go in there 10 or 20, we'll be fine to put it on the first half. It's a standalone story and doesn't affect any of the other storylines in any way. And it starts at Frederickson Place, which is south of Rocky Narrows Park.
That'll be interesting. So I don't know if it was the Ghoul mod that I had. But this thing was brutal, and I had a follower with me.
Whoa.
When you get
interesting.
down, when you're so the first level you fight, normal ghouls, but then the second level, you fight feral ghouls.
Right. Yep. And then there's a third level for residential.
Yeah, and that has regular ghouls again.
So you're saying
but
this one's rather difficult?
Well, it was, but I also had a combat mod and a ghoul mod that made all different kinds of ghouls.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, that would change it up then. If you
So
were
I
getting
had
harder
bloated
spawn.
ghouls and these weird crawling ghouls and a lot of really tough ghouls.
Okay. Well, this is one I think if you don't have all that stuff added, it should be better. Although survival mode could make it tough on its own, but that's one I'd like to put on the list as a maybe.
It was definitely a fun mod.
Okay, that could be worth it then. So far we have Radium Ink and Vault 28 the Absent Ghoul, both possibles. I like Radium Ink especially. Just something about the vibe of it looked good to me, looking at the items and stuff.
Cool.
Here's one. No, we don't need that one. Prime location we're not going to do. That's more of a kind of like plenty of exploration or crowded Commonwealth, like just adding new locations.
Yeah, the follower I had was Heather Kasdan.
Oh,
which I should have known. So in the description, it touts 2,400 unique dialogue lines, which should have been a red flag. This woman never shuts up.
Never shuts up.
Talks
people
constantly.
love Heather Kasdan. She's such a popular companion.
Yeah, she's got so great voice actor, really funny lines, but holy crap, never shuts up.
Reacts to
everywhere you go. She's got it. She has unique dialogue. If people are into followers, you should definitely do Heather Kasdan. She has conversations with random NPCs throughout your game, and it's a really well done mod. But for me, it was just like, holy crap. The only thing worse than a follower that gets in your way all the time is one that gets in your way all the time and never shuts up.
Shut up.
She sounds great. So yeah, I mean, definitely not the companion for you, Ray, necessarily. It's funny because she just got an update too with like another 2,000 lines or something like that, like specifically for in the DLC, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely well done. I will definitely say that it was a very well done mod. She's well integrated and all that, but
so here is another one I wanted to mention this is a weird one. This is a weird one, but it sounds good. It's rated very highly, and I've heard good things about it. So Mad Rock. I don't know if you've played through Mad Rock yet.
I've seen it.
Okay, yep. So here's the description. Welcome to Mad Rock. Edward Dunwich infiltrated in this old monastery and attracted something very dark. Find a workbench by finding the keys throughout the building and lift the spell that Edward cast over Mad Rock. Or don't, if you like it in a scary state. So basically, it's like a haunted house. It's a haunted house manor, but tied into like the Dunwich Boars kind of lore. So it's a bit mystical and, might be a little bit on the tough side, but not bad. It's on the east side of the Commonwealth. I think the location is kind of south of Finch Farm, if I remember correctly. Anyway, possibility, just kind of a haunted house location with a quest.
Beautiful.
Well, and it's got a home located next to Billy.
Yeah, okay, that is where it is. Yep. Okay, so that's a possibility. Mad Rock. I've got three more on the list of maybes. And these are all things to definitely say no to if you don't like the sound of them. The Kelly Household Quest mod. I don't know if you've done this one yet. It's basically, there's a house on the edge of the glowing sea. Talk of the town is there's a manhole there that leads to a bunker that hasn't been opened in over 200 years. You know what to do. You know what to do. So this one was made for PS4. It's a quest mod, but questless quest mod, basically, because you can't do custom scripting.
Right.
So you go in, you find items and stuff like that essentially gives you a quest as you explore. Reading over it, actually, it is an exploration mod more than a quest. So maybe I was wrong to mark this one. You get a new weapon, you get a new location. It's got a story behind it. That's the Kelly household. I might put it in my load order just to have it, but let's scratch that one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Ray, here's one that I saw and just had to grab for you, even though I don't know about it. It's called A Cannibal in Concord.
Oh, just
So-
for you, Ray.
It is a house location with a quest in Concord. It says if you're the type of person who likes to run and gun, this mod is not for you. It's about looking around, finding objects, and sneaking your way through. The mod is based off a real cannibal by the name of Albert Fish. And so there are short stories, serial killer lore, very creepy, but it seemed like it could be fun to play and report on. That's a maybe. I just saw the cannibal and I said, oh, Ray wants that.
I think I've read that one before.
It's got some great pictures.
And then finally, Children of Ugg Qualtoth. This might be too large. Actually, it's 280 meg now that I see it. It's got a dungeon with a couple hours of content and some new enemies. It's essentially, it's a horror quest mod. So I don't think I want to put that on my list. But it sounded neat. It's a Lovecraftian quest mod with a sprawling dungeon, unique enemies, and custom music. You follow the trail of the Dunwich Company and discover a disturbing past long forgotten. So yeah, it's basically a dungeon based on Dunwich borers with some rewards and enemy AI and new monsters and creatures. But it's horror, and we are playing survival, and that's probably a really bad idea.
Survival horrors are the best genre of video games. Come on.
It is, but I want to avoid death.
Reload.
So I'll share my real mod list, but basically out of these ones I mentioned, I do think Radium Inc., I think Vault 28, and I think Mad Rock are maybe definites that we can add and put on the list somewhere to try and talk about.
Well, great. Sounds good. Get those in there.
Yeah. Oh, there is a Ghoul Mask quest too. That's interesting. You remember the Ghoul Mask from Fallout 3, of course?
Mm-hmm.
It's a level 20-ish quest. So if we were to do it, it would have to be later in our playthrough, maybe right before we go to Far Harbor or something. But essentially, it's a small quest line that gives you a Ghoul Mask. And it's just called Ghoul Mask.
Very nice.
And Raider Prom. Oh, this is the other one. Okay, I'm adding this to the list, you guys. Raider Prom. It's a new location, a Raider Party dungeon. It's appropriate for levels, basically anything over level 10. And I don't have it open in front of me. This is just what I had put in my notes when I was looking earlier. But essentially, yeah, the Raiders are throwing a party, and you're going to crash that party. And so there's a small quest involved, exploration, and a really cool looking location.
That, the bouquet, that's not made of flowers. That'd be a grenade bouquet in that prom.
Exactly. Location is in Hyde Park, so not too hard to get to. But yeah, we'll put out that list for real when we get it, noted up. But these are ones I wanted to mention for everybody.
Beautiful. Sounds good.
Yeah, I don't see that one on the Nexus.
Oh, really? Raider Prom? Okay,
Yep.
Interesting. It was on the Bethesda promoted ones, which is how I came across it.
Yeah. I'll look it up and see if I can get any clues. Maybe they called it something else.
And any of you Xbox users out there, I'm taking all suggestions for any Doctor mods. Searching the Bethesda list for Doctor mods brings up all sorts of crazy mods that like written by people with doctor in their name and stuff. So it's really hard to sort of decipher what's going on in all these, but there are a few that will add a doctor to, say, like Good Neighbor, and add one to the Drumlin Diner and stuff like that. But I suggest getting as many doctors scattered around as you can, just because I found that to be one of the more annoying parts of the survival mode, was curing all the diseases and getting rid of the radiation. You don't want to use Radaway because Radaway has negative effects and stuff like that, so it's better to pay a doctor to get rid of your radiation if you can, and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to peruse the list and try to come up with all the doctor helpful ones that I can. But if anyone has used the Wintermute mod, you can evidently build a follower much like you can with the robot workbench, except for it uses the same character designer that you use to create your own character. So you can create a follower and assign them attributes. Well, the doctor skills are one of those attributes, but I'm not a technical guy, but I had such a hard time figuring out what the mod was trying to make me do in order. I could never get the follower to actually go through the progression to say, oh, heal me, oh, cure my rads, and do this. You have some sort of like follower rod and a follower capsule and something, and the description in the mod itself is not very helpful, so I just didn't know if anyone had experience with Wintermute. If you could explain to me how to get a goddamn follower to be a doctor, that would be the ultimate remedy for all of this, the diseases and the sleeping and the radiation. Just have the doctor with you at all times, so you don't have to keep running back to settlements or running to Diamond City or running to...
Yeah, we're going to find, people will find their own way of coping with the difficulty of survival. And the idea of having a doctor with you at all times does seem a little...
Is that cheaty?
Definitely make it easier. Maybe a little cheaty, but what can I say? Because I'm considering mods too. Let's get some feedback from Steve real quick in the chat. He mentions he played a little of the Children of Ugg-Qualtoth. It was unusual. He said, I would pass on it. It's puzzly and weird. Some people might like it, but wasn't my play style. Lee mentions that there is a plague doctor mod, which adds a traveling plague doctor that you can run into, which could be good.
But those are just bad guys. They can't heal you or anything.
They don't heal you?
No, they're just, you can pick up like a plague doctor mask, and it's mainly for their outfits, and they have like legendary weapons on them and stuff. But it's not like you can be like, I'm going to heal me, or I'll kill you. Yeah, I want people to cure me.
So Steve also mentions the mysterious BIG, which, yes, Steve, I finally added the mysterious BIG to my load order this time. For the first time, I'm gonna get Biggie Smalls showing up instead of the instead of the mysterious stranger. So I got that. Clint mentions if you play on PC, do load the Robert Picardo emergency medical hologram mod. It does give you the emergency medical hologram from Voyager, played by Robert Picardo, but only available on PC. But you can have a doctor with you anywhere. That will be very useful for you guys.
That would be nice, Clint. Ugh.
So
I don't know if you have access to the mod called More Doctors.
That scatters a few, like one at the edge of the glowing sea and stuff, right? I think that one might be PC only. No,
there was one to add a few doctors. Yeah, there was one to add a few doctors.
Conquered, Good Neighbor, Malden, Quincy, and the Glowing Sea.
That should be enough to really supplement, I would think, add to other things. Here's what I'm doing. So for people who are caring about specific mods, like I said, I'll share a list, but here are my survival specific ones I'm doing. So I'm loading a lot of the UGG mods by Odd Little Turtle, which basically they fix certain things. There's one called UGG Canteen. And I mean, maybe this is cheating, Andrew, you tell me, but UGG Canteen gives you the Fallout New Vegas thing where you get to sip from your trusty Vault 13 canteen.
Vault 13 canteen.
Every couple minutes, so you never get thirsty in survival mode. So you can always hydrate and don't worry about your water levels.
Yeah, well, water becomes pretty annoying to deal with after you've cleaned out a couple of your bottle sources, because in survival mode, one of the things is your locations don't respawn nearly as quickly either. So if you go clear out all your bottles from the bottle plant, It's going to take a few weeks before
That
the
whole
more bottles will
situation
come
with
back.
recyclable bottles and all that we were talking about, I'm like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's just too much. So I'm using a canteen to manage my water. The settlement fast travel one I'm doing is called Journey. Journey, survival settlement fast travel. That does allow you to travel between settlements where you've established a supply line, just settlement to settlement. So I'm doing that one. And then the third is by Gopher, the quick save, and it's officially called Survival Quick Save, No Sleep Till Bedtime. So essentially, it gives you a quick save slot. Not permanent saves; they're quick saves, but it's by Gopher. So those will be the three ones that I have modifying it. So better water, better fast travel, and the occasional quick save. There's also if you do want a full cheat mod for survival mode to custom tailor your experience, on Xbox it's called Survival Options (Xbox One), and Survival Options lets you go each line by line. Like, everything that gets affected by survival, you can turn it on and off or tweak. I don't want to go too far that way because we are trying to do a survival playthrough, so I'm just using those three as my modifiers. One thing to remember is that you are going to get more XP in survival mode too, which is great. You guys playing, that's something I learned from you because I hadn't realized how much of a boost you get, but you get double XP playing in survival mode, which at least lets you level up. And if you do want to use an XP multiplier mod on whatever you're playing, you can even do more. So there's one I was looking at that's increased XP multiplier for survival, give you 2.5 XP instead of just 2 XP.
Nice.
Yeah, just a thought.
And I just got Gopher's joke there, no sleep till bedtime. That's a Beastie Boys
No,
joke. That's hilarious.
sleep till bedtime.
Yeah, that's great.
And of course, I got a lot more mods, but those are my survival specific ones. I did not load the survival tent one that you were using, other things. I feel like just...
It gives you so many diseases because if you sleep on the ground at all, you wake up with the disease almost every time, and therefore you have to go find a doctor. So basically, every time you save, you have to be near a doctor. So I might try Gopher's quick save thing this time, maybe instead.
Yep, that's why I'm going to do that instead. I just feel like I don't want to mix both. You know what I mean? And there's one where you can throw grenades to get a survival tent, stuff like that. Like, no, I don't need all that. I am trying the Settler and Companion Dialogue overhaul by originally by Thuggy Smurf, but updated, and it's on Xbox. It was brought over by Golrag is the guy's name. But the Thuggy Smurf one, previously I'd always used the Icebreaker Settlement Dialogue, which was great, but this is much better. Already using it, it gives your companions some pretty cool individual quests and stuff like that. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah. I'm ramble about mods all day. So I think that wraps up. But so we got ideas for the quest ones we're doing and a couple of suggestions for survival.
Right on. Sounds good. Ray, were there any that you needed to mention? Any mods for survival?
No, not really.
All right. Well,
Not that hadn't already been covered.
we'll put out an official list of the quest ones, and go ahead and start building your characters, everybody, and have fun running around and getting your first few levels under your belt. Get your character a nice little backstory. Tell us the backstory and your build, and give us a nice, concise 5-minute audio feedback about your character introductions, and we'll see if we can start covering those next week. That'll be great.
And
guys.
if you don't have time yet, like if you are going to work on your mod list and you're not starting a character, just that's fine. Feedback about your character of any kind would be great.
Yeah,
and of course, the first official, like, hey, this is what I've done feedback would be in 3 weeks, right? Because we got character feedback next week, and then we've got our first report in 2 weeks, and then players' first report in 3.
Sounds good. And we'll hammer down a schedule and get that up on the website for everyone to refer to and all that. So we'll get this season molded and shaped and ready to go here pretty soon. Keep your eye out.
And now that I'm done with the play, we can
Actually
work
have
on the
some
season.
time to do stuff. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And watch Jess's play, everyone. I'm gonna run.
Yes,
and watch
watch our play.
Sounds good. All right. Anything else you guys want to cover tonight?
All good.
Then on that note, you can find him over there on the Twitter at RayLB, and also the No Man's Sky show at BBCISSS for the Butcher, Baker, Candlemaker, and Space. Ray, thanks so much for hopping on tonight.
Good times.
You can find her at You Wastelanders, at Dames Who Game, and at Sleep is for Tea. Jess, thanks so much for hopping on tonight.
Thank you.
I can be found at Indie Android. The show is at the Fallout Feed, and I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed, and we will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
I've got the big package.
More moist.
I loaded this monster in there.
People are always beating on him. Squonk.